Dr. Mike Veneria and his award-winning team provide, and you need to check him out. Whether you're looking for pediatric, general, cosmetic, implant dentistry, you don't need to look any further. Dr. Veneria's office does everything. Dr. Veneria's office also exceeds CDC guidelines and has always maintained the strictest infection control, like their centralized UV sterilization of airflow, which is incredibly important to me. Locations are right over the bridge in Cinnaminson and Woodbury. Your perfect smile's waiting. Call 856-786-2020 or visit veneriadental.com.
The working families of La Una Neighbors District Council of Pennsylvania, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia are proud contributors to all aspects of growth in this great city. The Neighbors District Council provides safe, well-trained, productive workers who enable projects to be done on time and under budget. We appreciate our signatory contractors and their commitment to fairness and equality. Neighbors, we're building a better future today.
Brought to you by the Laborers District Council Licit Fund.
Pump up your energy savings with the new Bradford White Aerotherm G2, the only hybrid electric heat pump water heater manufactured in America using the finest components from around the world. It's a Bradford White, so it's built to be the best for years of reliable performance, top efficiency, and energy savings. Plus, rebates and tax credits could save you thousands more. How you heat your water matters. So ask your plumbing pro about the Aerotherm heat pump water heater and visit bradfordwhite.com to learn more.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Hola, amigos! It's the big noise, Brad Evans from BetMGM tonight. Listen Monday through Friday starting at 6 p.m. Eastern on Westwood One Sports as we cover the biggest sports stories from coast to coast. Get insights on the NFL playoffs, college basketball conference races, and more. Download the Odyssey app now and listen from anywhere. BetMGM tonight, live and interactive, presented by BetMGM. Tune in, Team Huevos.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. At the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, President Trump posts on social media that after a very productive meeting with NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, they have formed the framework deal on Greenland and says he's holding off on European tariffs. In his speech earlier, Trump pulled back from the threat of using military force to seize the island territory, and he took a swipe at the European allies who are not supporting his effort to acquire Greenland.
I love Europe, and I want to see Europe go good, but it's not heading in the right direction.
CBS's Cammie McCormick with more.
In Greenland, this boat captain...
It feels like a huge relief in many ways because I and many other Greenlandic people have been super worried about what might happen.
Britain's Defense Minister John Healey was meeting today with his Danish counterpart.
He's right. Diplomacy is the way to go. And as our Prime Minister said earlier in the week, the right approach to Greenland is a calm approach, an approach of discussion between allies.
When asked about NATO's role in ending Russia's war against Ukraine, President Trump says he's finding that ending that war is a difficult balance.
I believe they're at a point now where they can come together and get a deal done. And if they don't, they're stupid. That goes for both of them. And I know they're not stupid.
Police chiefs in Minnesota say some of their own officers have been caught up in encounters with ICE. CBS's Allison Keyes reports.
In Minneapolis, Brooklyn Park Police Chief Mark Bruley says one of his off-duty officers was boxed in by ICE, who demanded her paperwork, which she didn't have, as a citizen.
Drawn during this interaction.
Bruley says after the officer identified herself, the agents
just got in their vehicles and left.
He and other police chiefs say they support lawful immigration enforcement, but such tactics violate civil rights. Allison Keyes, CBS News.
A federal appeals court has heard oral arguments over Louisiana's law requiring public schools to post the Ten Commandments. The contested law's third time in court and likely its last stop before the U.S. Supreme Court. CBS's Katie Weiss with the latest from New Orleans.
The people who filed suit against the state law say that it would alienate students of different religious beliefs. However, Louisiana's Attorney General Liz Murrill says that the concepts in the Ten Commandments are something that everyone should be able to get around. Things like thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not kill.
Heavy snow has been falling in western New York, with some areas receiving more than 2 feet. Another wave of snow is moving through the Great Lakes today, and the South is bracing for snow and ice this weekend. Stocks are up on Wall Street after President Trump's comments on Greenland. The Dow is up 749 points. This is CBS News.
I'm Major Garrett. Follow and listen to The Takeout on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
For 100 years, Edelman's in Jenkintown has been the name families trust when it's time to sell gold, silver, and coins. A fourth-generation family-owned business built on fairness, honesty, and treating every customer with true respect. At Edelman's, you'll always get a clear, no-pressure offer. Their best offer first. Sell your gold jewelry, bullion, or coins with confidence at Edelman's. Visit edelmanscoins.com or call 215-572-6480. Edelman's, where fairness has been our family tradition for 100 years.
WPHT HD WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Piazza Auto Group Studios, experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Free speech lives here. Lives here. The WPHT Afternoon Show.
Like, take that. What's up, Pennsylvania? Woo! How are you guys? What's up, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland? I got calls from Michigan, Tennessee, South Carolina. How are you guys doing? This is your girl, Kathy Barnette. Thank you for being on. Let me give y'all this listener telephone number because I want you to call me. We have so much to talk about. The number is 855-839-1210, 855-839-1210. You're listening to the number one talk radio station in Philadelphia, which, by the way, just means all of Pennsylvania, because who's bigger than Philly, right? In the state of Pennsylvania. So, yeah, I'm so excited to be here with you guys. I have a wonderful guest. I think she's on the line already, but before I go to her, Trish Regan, you guys know Trish Regan, I have a joke for you. Yes, I have a joke for you. I am so horrible at jokes. Well, I think I'm funny. I mean, I guess most people do think they're funny. I think I'm funny. My husband, they say I shouldn't laugh at my own jokes. But here, I have a joke for you that I think is going to set us up for the balance of our time together. Here it is. My grandmama told me, now you got to pay attention. My grandmama told me there are only two things you have to worry about in life. Whether you're healthy or you're sick. If you're healthy, you don't got nothing to worry about. But if you're sick, you got 2 things to worry about. If you're going to get better or if you're going to get worse. If you get better, you don't got nothing to worry about. If you get worse, you got 2 things to worry about. Whether you're going to live or whether you're going to die. If you live, you don't got nothing to worry about. But if you die, you got 2 things to worry about. Whether you're going to go to heaven or hell. If you go to heaven, you don't got nothing to worry about. If you go to hell, you got 2 things to worry about. Original or extra crispy. That's the joke. But it sets us up because when I heard it, I didn't come up with that joke. Someone else did. But when I heard it, I was like, aha! Trade-offs and consequences. That's like life is a series of trade-offs and consequences. There's only 2 things to worry about. You can either have what's behind door number 1 or you can have what's behind door number 2. But when I grew up, we all knew we could not have both what's behind door number 1 and what's behind door number 2. We all knew that. We all knew that it's either one or the other. If you get married to one man, that meant you can't go out here and marry every man, right? We knew growing up as kids that you cannot have always your cake and eat it too. But over the past 20 years, we've been raised, we as a collective, we've been raised to think that somehow we're special. That somehow the rules don't apply to us. That somehow we can have our cake and eat it too. We got it so bad that we have taught ourselves and many generations that you can be both a boy and a girl. You don't got to choose. And with no fault divorces, I can marry that man, I can marry that man, I can marry that man, and the children will be fine. But the children aren't fine. Life is a series of choices. Like we were told, you can open up your border, blur the lines, and allow third world people to come into your nation, and you won't have any problems with it. There's nothing to see there. We were told that we can hollow out industries in our own nation, write checks to subsidize other nations growing, and somehow we're going to get cheap stuff, but we're all going to be fine. And what we're finding out is that we're not all fine. In fact, I believe 2026, if you paid attention to just the first 7 days of this new year, you realize something has changed. How we as a country is interacting with the world around us, something has fundamentally changed. And what I believe it is that the world for the past 20 years, the major powers within the world, they have been renegotiating the pecking order of power, the pecking order of hierarchy, who gets to make the rules, who gets to enforce the rule. They've been engaged, China, Russia, India, Indonesia, Israel. They've been engaged in this renegotiation of world order for about the past 20 plus years. America, for the most part, over the past 20 years, we've been completely disengaged. We've just been the ones writing the checks to everybody in the world, right? Paris Agreement, here's $1 trillion. China doesn't have to actually kick in any money until 2035 or 2038, but we're already writing $1 trillion checks to people. I just found out today, according to Donald Trump, that apparently America gave the money to Ethiopia to build a dam that blocks the Nile River, and now Egypt and Ethiopia are at each other's throat. But guess who gave the money to build the dam? America. Why are we sending our money to Ethiopians to build a dam that blocks the Nile River? I don't know, but that's been our role, is just to write the checks while everybody else is out here fighting for supremacy. And for the first time in about 20 plus years, what we are watching right now, starting in the first 7 days of this year, is Donald Trump engaging America in the fight. A fight that's been brewing, like I said, for the past 20 years. And so I think all of these various stories, even the ones we're going to talk about today, they're not just, unrelated, no relationship, low correlation stories. It's a common thread. And I believe that common thread goes back to my attempt at telling a joke, which is there are consequences in life. With that, do I have my guest? Is Trish on? Trish! Hey, Trish, how are you?
Oh, it's so good. I liked your joke, and I liked your monologue. Wow, that was fantastic. It's spot on. I agree with you, sister.
Oh, my God. We're already starting off great, Trish. Everyone,
no, good stuff.
You guys should be so familiar with this voice. It's such a unique and beautiful voice for a very beautiful lady, and so sweet. Trish Regan. She is the award-winning journalist, host of the Trish Regan Show that I listen to, Trish. I am one of your 1 million subscribers. When you were telling everybody, help you get to that 1 million mark, I was right there. You can hear her Monday through Friday all the time. I get alerts all the time because I am subscribed to Trish Regan Show on YouTube. You are also the co-founder of investment research firm called At 76 Research, and I, like so many, were introduced to you by watching Fox Business, and you are one of their anchors there. Trish, thank you so much for being on.
Oh, Kathy, my pleasure. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity to talk to you and all of your wonderful viewers.
Yes, and guys, if you guys have a question for Trish while I have her on, here's the number, 855-839-1210, 855-839-1210. I will get to you guys very quickly, I promise. So, Trish, what do you think about that monologue? Like, what do you think about this year? I was looking at just the first 7 days. We had Tim Walz coming out and suspending his gubernatorial campaign. Like, when have we ever seen a Democrat take any kind of accountability and step back from the ring of power? Followed immediately by Maduro being nabbed, brought to America, indicted, followed almost like the next day with what's happening in Iran. I mean, this is just in the first 7 days. What are your thoughts?
I mean, incredible. Just absolutely stunning. He is swinging for the fences. He knows that time is of the essence. He is determined to get things done. And gosh almighty, I mean, this is leadership in action, right? This is seeing your agenda through. I got to tell you, so I have a background in finance. I actually started my first job was at Goldman Sachs right out of school, where I was trading, Kathy, believe it or not, Venezuelan sovereign debt. We traded a few countries in Latin America. I bizarrely speak Spanish. Not so bizarrely, but I studied it a lot in school and lived overseas for a while. So somehow I got put on the Latin American foreign desk trading all this debt. And so I remember when Chavez came to power, and we're like, gosh, is it going to be that bad? We hope it's not that bad. It's kind of like what you're thinking and probably seeing and saying to yourself right now with Mamdani, right, in New York City. Oh, it can't be that bad, right? Like, how did this guy get in there? Oh, believe me, it was all that bad and worse. And what I can tell you is throughout my career in journalism, whether it was, back in 2002 when they tried to take out Chavez, or back even in around 2017, 2018, I think, when they tried to once again go in and try and nudge the situation, I think, from a more diplomatic standpoint. And then I can tell you that during the Biden administration, I had sources on the ground there that reported back to me they were very aggressively trying to get Maduro to leave. And so I guess my point being, Chavez, Maduro, they were trying to get these dictator, communist, socialists out of there for years. But guess who got it done? One Donald J. Trump.
Yeah.
So, I point to this as something that they've been trying to solve for over 20 years and they couldn't. And finally, he just said, to heck with it all. And this is the difference, too, between him in the first term versus this term, because this time he's like, I got one shot, baby, and I'm taking. And he's not willing to back down. So Venezuela is a great example. And Greenland is another. I listened to his brilliant speech in Davos, Switzerland this morning, where he basically, he had a lot of humor in there, and he had a lot of substance in there. He had some choice words for one, Ilhan Omar, and the Somali pirates, as he referred to them. But he pointed out, look, we got technology you guys never even dreamed of us having, and that's how we got into Venezuela. That's how we got into the bunker that nobody thought we could get into, that the Russians and the Chinese were guarding. And we've got all this technology, and we're going to do everything we can to keep our people safe and our hemisphere safe. And, by way of which he was leading to Greenland and the importance strategically for having Greenland, because it is so relevant, again, for our national security. Not because he's like, I don't care about the natural minerals. I really don't. There's rare earth everywhere. Earth actually isn't that rare. Right. What I care about is where it is strategically located, and Denmark can't defend it. Like, period, full stop.
Yeah.
I think he's got a few dog sled references he's pointed out. They got another dog sled. But he's not wrong. And so I think that he's really trying to change things on the economic front. And we write about this a lot. So 76 Research is my financial research company, but it's not like a big sort of corporate, you don't understand things. It's really research designed for your everyday person, because it's important to me that people do invest. We came out with, I'll plug it right here. It's a free guide, investinmaga.com. So you can go to Invest in MAGA and sign up for the free stuff, or you can get it for $1 a month for the first 2 months. It goes to $9.95 thereafter at 76research.com. But the reason I created this, actually, Kathy, was because through my whole career, don't forget, like, I started in finance. I was at CNBC and Bloomberg and Fox Business, and everybody would come up to me and be like, I'm so afraid to invest. I don't know how to invest. I don't know what to do. And I was beating the table ahead of the election because I was like, he's going to win. He is going to win. And you want to be invested in the stock market. You just have to be. I don't care if it's $10 a week. I don't care. Just buy the S&P. Whatever you do, make sure you have skin in the game because this baby is going up, up, and away. And of course,
and it already has been 52 different high market days, right?
Yeah. No, and look at today even, because he came out and gave the speech about Greenland, and all of a sudden the markets, which were a little bit nervous ahead of it, boom, we're right back up. Once again, he actually predicted the market's going to double this year. I will tell you this. The Atlanta Fed came out with GDP predictions for the fourth quarter of this year, and they're saying 5.4% economic growth. That's insane, 7-8%. I mean, Kathy, this is amazing. I don't know what the left is going to do because it's like, how do you fight success?
Well, they're over there, fighting for pedophiles and rapists and, warmongers. I mean, it's just really insane. But let me go back to what you said a few moments ago, because I too listened to President Trump speak at Davos today, and it was endearing. I found it to be kind of endearing and encouraging, especially when he said about Canada, because Mark Carney was there, and I listened to Mark Carney. I listened to him. I don't know. Did you get a chance to listen to Mark Carney?
I heard some of the things that he was saying yesterday.
Yeah, girl. Rapture
I don't know if
in
he
the
said more
world
stuff
order.
today, but he basically suddenly wants to be besties with China. I'm like,
all
okay,
of a sudden,
Mark,
right?
is it that bad?
Yeah,
Macron
like Mark.
too.
Yeah, well, Mark was talking about, like this is the end of a pleasant fiction and the beginning of a harsh reality. And I was like, yeah, it's the harsh reality of your own making. We have been idiots in the West of exporting our industries and importing the world's poor, people from Somalia who can't even come together to create a functioning government in their own country, and then they come here and they just do what they know to do, which is to thieve and rob. But what I loved about what Donald Trump said in regards to Mark Carney, he says Canada lives because of us. And you should be grateful. And,
what a mothership.
And after he said that, because, that's a mouthful. You live, right? I mean, I'm a Christian, right? I live, I breathe, I have my being because of Jesus Christ. So when Donald Trump said you live because of us in the United States and you should be grateful, but instead you're not, you're cozying up to our enemy. And then I have this long spreadsheet just looking at all the trade balances, for all 180 something different countries.
Look at you go.
Well, I mean, because you got to stay informed. You got to know what's going on, right? So that you know how to move. And he's right. Like, we have been the world's piggy bank for the last 20 plus years, and we get nothing but a kick in the teeth, not a thank you.
Yeah. No, it's like suddenly the adults, the parent has stepped in and said, okay, your kids have been acting up and it's time that we put some rules in place and, we're knocking your allowance down. And if you improve on the homework grades, we'll see. I mean, it's all of a sudden you have somebody talking to them. And, Kathy, this isn't that hard. This is not that hard. I'll tell you, it's like the left hand wasn't talking to the right. Joe Biden, he shut off all our energy here in the U.S. No more drilling in USA. And yet simultaneously was out there saying, I'm going to sanction Russia. No more natural gas, no more flowing to Europe. What did he think that was going to do? I mean, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Make up your mind. If you're going to go after Russia, and by the way, I get it, that you had to sanction them, so be it. Do you really think you want to shut off the energy spigot here in the U.S. of A. at the same darn time and not have to pay a price?
Yeah.
You think that those things aren't connected? It's like it's not hard. I mean, he sees the whole picture. And I don't think he cares two bits about the political fallout. He's like, I'm going to just take it on. Like, you throw whatever you want at me because I'm here and I'm going to take it. And believe me, they're throwing a lot right now.
Yeah, you know what? I think about these women, it really, I'm black. Everyone knows this. You're white, Trish.
I'm white.
And
Yeah,
there
I
are,
was gonna say, hey.
and so listen. I love you. I love you because not because of the color of your skin, but because of how you think and how you parse through information and how you want to bring good information to other people. So this has nothing to do with color. However, I'm not blind, and I do see there's an inordinate number of white women out here on the street throwing their bodies in front of ICE, trying to protect some of the most vile people. Now, of course, I have to qualify that because you have Don Lemon going in with a bunch of black people into a church, just stupid stuff. But and I look at it, whether it's Don Lemon and his band of Merry Black Lives Matter people, or if it's these white moms, suburban moms, whose greatest fight in life has been against the hangnail. Nonetheless, there's this ideology, and I was thinking about it over the weekend. Ideology is essentially, this is what we believe should happen. Right. Versus reality is what actually happens. And I'm looking at these people and I'm like, okay, they are being driven by an ideology. And I knew you were going to be coming on, and I wanted to just ask you, talk about the economic consequences of governing by ideology, of what you want to happen, rather than the rule of law or economic incentives.
Well, I mean, look, we'd all be communists, right? Because in theory, it sounds great. I remember when my kids were really little, and they're being taught some communist line of what in school, right? Yeah. So they come home and they're like, "But Mom, what if everybody just had the exact same house, like the exact?" And I'm like, well, I mean, what would you have to, we talked about, aspiration. We talked about, is it really fair? Because, hey, if you work really hard and somebody else doesn't work hard at all, I mean, should they all get the exact same thing? I remember trying to have these conversations with them. I mean, ideology, right? Like if you boil it down, yes, it sounds great in theory. We should all be the same. We should all have the exact same, but you can't get the same outcome. I mean, hopefully you can guarantee some kind of access to opportunity, and it's a big responsibility for us as a country, right, to be educating our kids to the best of our and their ability to prepare them for the future. And I'm a big believer in opportunity for everyone, okay, period. But we don't know what someone's going to do with that opportunity. There's, people that work hard and people that are just frankly lazy, people that are talented and people that are not talented. And there are people that are just darn lucky, believe me, right? Like luck plays a role as well. So how do you say, well, we're going to just try and make everything equal? You know what? It's been tried, and it's been tried over and over and over and over again throughout history. And you have the most modern day example right there in Venezuela. And when I first got my job at Goldman Sachs and I was trading Venezuelan debt, guess what? That country was the wealthiest country in all of Latin America. You fast forward 20 years, Kathy, and it's the poorest, and the people are starving
and they voted
to death.
Themselves into that situation, right?
Yeah, they did, but
initially,
not the last time around.
Not the last time around, but the first
time
around, Chavez came out promising, like, Mamdani, right? Like the warm embrace of socialism, right?
Exactly.
And they voted for that, and it was like Minnesota in Venezuela, right? It's like everyone
you get
should be
greedy people.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't stamp out greed. I'll tell you, capitalism does the best of it. Capitalism isn't perfect, right? But it sure as heck beats the alternative. And I'll just say this. I mean, at least in capitalism, we recognize and we kind of appreciate, I think, the human spirit of wanting to, aspire to something more. And we kind of find some guardrails to protect around that and to encourage that and to nourish it. In communism or socialism, you try to assume that nobody has that desire. God forbid they have that desire, but the reality is they do. And so they scam the system, just like we saw in Minnesota.
Yeah, absolutely, right? Because at the end of the day, ideology flows from man upward, right? Like progressivism, that that somehow we've progressed, that we don't need the guardrails. We don't need that stinky Bible. We don't need, as, John Adams says, the Constitution is made only for a moral and religion. Well, we don't need religion giving us our morality. We've progressed. And then I say to people, well, how is that working out for us right now? I don't think we've ever been as divided as a nation.
No, we never have. But they've done that deliberately. And by the way, none of this should be divisive. For goodness sakes, Barack Obama was sending people out of the country left and right. He sent more out than anyone. I looked at a 2016 report on ICE from CNN this week. 2016, they were like, these brave officers out there risking their lives to arrest the criminal. I'm like, okay, guys, yeah, what a difference a president makes, right? It almost makes me nostalgic, if you would. So, 2016, the media loves ICE, loves Barack Obama. Now, the problem that the Democrat Party is actually having is he's kind of stolen their playbook. I mean, the things that they actually cared about, like, you bring all these people here, they're going to suppress wages for everyday Americans. That was their playbook. He took it right out from under. And now they're like, what? Okay, so now they have to become the party of, because they're so extreme, bring one, bring all. And I think there's some dark ulterior motives there.
I do too.
That have to do with
because
voting,
these people are not
ignorant.
These people are not ignorant. They're very well informed. They know. But what I was thinking, and I really try not to be a conspiracy theorist, but it's really hard when all your theories come true. And it's like I got to go make up some new ones. And I think the one I'm hovering around right now is, guess what we're not talking about in Minnesota lately, these last couple of weeks? What we're not talking about are the Somalis and their fraud and the $19 billion of fraud. That's what we're not talking about. And I think that too is intentional. I think that people like Fry and Waltz and Ellison, they don't want us talking about
believe me,
fraud.
I've been saying that on my show every day. I don't think that's conspiracy at all. I mean, of course, by the way, Kathy, I'm also going to tell you, I never really thought I was like super right. Like, I just thought I was kind of common sense and, a fiscal conservative and a little bit right of center. Mm-hmm. And apparently I'm like super right wing these days. Who knew?
I know.
It's because the whole world's gone crazy. So I don't think that's conspiracy at all. I think that's absolutely 1,000% what they're doing. They're trying to change the narrative.
They do. I mean, the narrative was so strong. The American people were so disgusted by what Nick Shirley showed us in late December that by the first week of January, Waltz suspended his gubernatorial campaign. It was just that light was bright and he didn't like it. And then all of a sudden, Renee Good happens, unfortunately, but it was a sad situation as a result of her own making. I think it was her brother-in-law who said, had she minded her own business, none of this would have happened. And it's an unfortunate situation, God forbid. And yet, I think it was, what was it, Rahm Emanuel, who said, never let a bad situation go to waste. And I think the Democrat Party has picked up on what unfortunately tragically happened to Renee Good, and they've weaponized it against the American people.
Sure. No, for sure. And I think they thought that, this put a different face on it. It was kind of like another, and it's interesting, it was in Minneapolis, sort of a George Floyd kind of moment, right, where they were able to ignite the BLM riots and pushback, et cetera. And so they were trying to use this to gin up a similar kind of reaction. You mentioned among white women, there was a really interesting take in the New York Post actually recently on why is it that all these soccer moms that used to care about Tupperware effectively are now suddenly trying to, spice up their lives by going out on these ICE raids. And
what do you think it is?
Because there's actually a whole recruiting network that's targeting moms. And that's been very much by design. I also read a very interesting study. I forgive me where it's from, but it was circulating online. And perhaps Elon actually retweeted this, but it was looking at the role of social media and how there's been such a move to the extreme left among women. And social media has played such an incredible role in that, in part because women want to be included. They want to be one with the crowd. They're a little less willing to be sort of standing on their own. And because of that sort of addictiveness of social media and the likes, and you get sort of this peer pressure and groupthink that emerges. And so social media has been very effective, and as a result, you have far more women, including, as you mentioned, white women, identifying really with the extreme left more so than you ever had. And they correlated it to the rise in social media over the last however many years. So that to me was also very interesting, because I look at it and I'm like, I don't get it, right? Like, most women are CFOs of their family, and they care about a few things. They want to make sure their kids have good opportunities for their future. They want to make sure their family's safe. They want to make sure the family is financially provided for. And they want to make sure, again, I go back to safety, right, that they are secure and that their neighborhoods are secure. But I think a lot of these women actually aren't confronting it in a real world way. One fascinating thing was what happened in, for example, Washington, D.C., with the mayor there, who was a Democrat mayor. And she said, when Donald Trump said, we're going to bring in the National Guard and we're going to get the Washington, D.C. cleaned up and we're going to reduce this murder rate. And she said, heck yeah, I'll take the help, right? I mean, this is a Democrat. And she's like, sure, bring it on. And guess what they did? They totally reduced the murder rate, and they totally reduced the mugging rate, and they did a wonderful job. And so why can't we see more places? Minnesota has a population of people that don't look a lot like the people in Washington, D.C., and they're the ones that are out there, Renee Good types that want to protest this. Why? Why?
It's very disturbing to me. I spent a lot of time thinking, even with Renee Good, but even after Renee Good, some of the images we got back were moms with their little babies outside protesting. And one news media outlet asked the mom, why are you out here with your child? And she was like, well, because ICE isn't going to do anything to me with my child. And there are videos after videos that's been released by ICE showing their interactions with mothers who have their 6-year-old son in the car. And I'm thinking to myself, when my babies were little, even now, like they're teenagers, I would never put them in harm's way. And you can hear ICE trying to explain to this one particular mother, ma'am, you got to get your child out of here. This is an ongoing operation happening right here. And she's like, well, no, I got you on film. And no, you can't make. And I'm thinking something has severed with this basic instinct within a mama bear to protect their child.
Yeah, and I think social media, honestly, they go down these rabbit holes and they become radicalized. And by the way, you don't have to take my word for it. You know who actually said this? We ran some sound on my show from her. I really try to limit anything I run from her. But you remember the woman who was at MSNBC, Joy Reid, who is just an really ugly, awful, and I don't mean like physically ugly, just like ugly in her heart.
Inside and out. I will say it, inside and out. Just a very disgruntled person.
Right, and I think she got fired because she was trying to encourage people not to go and spend time with their family over the holidays if they voted for Donald Trump. So she herself is extremely radicalized, but she actually went on a podcast and said that they were actively recruiting white women like Renee Good because they thought that, well, if a black person stood up there and said, hey, and got in the way of ICE, that it would be harder for them to be successful, whereas a white woman would be given a sort of token, if you would. And I'm like, that's crazy, because I've seen the police. By the way, I grew up in small town New Hampshire, and what did I learn when I was a little kid? My dad said, when the police stop you, it's yes, sir, no, sir, whatever you want, sir, hands up. Well, you are the nicest person you could possibly ever be, like the best version of yourself. You are so polite because whatever they say goes. Why, Trish? Because they have a gun. Okay.
Yes.
You don't mess with them. All right. Period. End of story.
But
I'm
even
a white
self-preservation.
Woman, and I was a white little girl, and I was taught that.
Right. So we're dealing with two different, phenomena. There's been a break between this parental kind of mama bear protective mode of your children, but also just self-preservation. You see these white women in front of ICE, and ICE is all armed up, and they're in their these white women are in their face like, I got shame, and I have my phone in your face. And I'm like, what has happened? Something has broken in these people.
Do you remember that show Cops?
Yes. Bad Boys.
It was a lot of sort of there was a lot of crime in a lot of white neighborhoods, right? And they'd go and they'd grab these people, just because you're I'm sorry, like the police are the police.
Yes.
And if they're busting crime, and by the way, if you like put your foot on the gas pedal and you're going towards the guy,
These
I
are
mean,
choices.
again, horrible, tragic.
Yeah.
I feel terrible for her, for her family, the whole thing. But I'm just going to say, like, don't put yourself in a situation ever where you're going to be, you know, risking your own life or those of the people that you love. Because, you know, you want to take on these causes. There's peaceful protests, and then there's, you know, putting the foot on the gas pedal, for goodness sake.
Yes. Trish, I could talk to you forever, but I know you got to go. Guys, if you want to hear more from Trish.
We got a show to do, yeah.
I know, Trish. If you want to hear more from Trish Regan, please go to YouTube, subscribe, be a part of the Trish, I don't know, do you have like a...
The Trish Regan Show. It's called the Trish Regan Channel.
The Trish
Just
Regan
go at
family?
Trish Regan Channel.
Oh, channel, yes. But you know, like some people have like, you know, like Trish Team for Trish or something. So you got to come
Or
up
like
with something.
they have a website. I'm working on the website, Kathy. If you know any good website people, text them to me. I'm working on the website.
Trish Tribe.
It scares the heck out of me. But I do have 76 Research. That's actually totally a fabulous research. So they could follow me there at 76 Research. But otherwise, I encourage them to go to Spotify or Apple Podcasts, wherever they get their podcasts. Listen to the Trish Regan Show or join me live on YouTube every day.
I love it. Thank you so much, Trish Regan.
Thank you. Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, guys. And let me tell you guys, she is as affable and gracious and just so like that sweetness kind of runs through her and classy in person as she is in her podcast. And as you just heard her right here, you are listening to Kathy Barnette, and I will see you guys on the other side. Play the music, guys. Here's the call-in number, because I want to get you guys' thoughts. 855-839-1210. 855-839-1210. Yes, Robert. Trish is beautiful and super smart. I see you guys on the other side.
Dawn Stensland here. Oh, the excitement is building. Portugal and Spain this spring. You know, I wouldn't go anywhere across the pond unless Conservative Tours was running the show for you. A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. And after the last 2 adventures in Europe with you, I wouldn't recommend you to anybody else. Fine dining with great wines, seaside villages that take your breath away. They are so stunning to behold. 5738, yes, that includes your nonstop flight from Philadelphia to Lisbon. The picturesque Douro River Valley, 4-star hotel properties, and dining events to rival the best in Europe for 10 days. Portugal is Europe's best-kept secret. I want to take you there before the secret's out. Private Portuguese tour escort, step over the border into Galicia in Old World Spain, fly home from Porto. 888-733-9494, conservativetours.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
Hey, what's up, flies? This is David Spade.
Dana Carvey.
Look, I know we never actually left, but I'll just say it. We are back with another season of Fly on the Wall.
Every episode, including ones with guests, will now be on video. Every Thursday, you'll hear us and see us chatting with big-name celebrities.
And every Monday, you're stuck with just me and Dana. We react to news, what's trending, viral clips.
Follow and listen to Fly on the Wall everywhere you get your podcasts.
Hi, Dawn Stensland here. Look around your home right now, especially the kitchen and the bathrooms. Obviously, you use them every day. Think about a refresh. And that's where my friends at Kitchen Magic come in. They're family-owned, crafting high-quality American-made kitchens and baths, and they make the process so simple from start to finish. Right now, you enjoy 30% off kitchen cabinet refacing, 50% off bathroom installations. Start the new year with a home that looks better and works better for you. KitchenMagic.com. Do it today. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Hey, this is Larry Steinhaus with Investor Schooling. Listen, I know sometimes you worry about coming to see me because you don't want to invest in real estate, because you don't want to deal with toilets, trash, or tenants. I'm going to teach you a way that you don't have to deal with toilets, trash, or tenants, or even own any real estate and invest in real estate at the same time. You want to learn this, so go to investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com and take a complimentary class this Thursday, and I promise you, no toilets, no trash, no tenants.
Have you been thinking about doing a Roth conversion, but the upfront taxes are holding you back? Welcome to Rothright. We can show you how to significantly reduce taxes on a conversion, potentially saving hundreds of thousands, even millions in taxes over your lifetime. A Roth conversion will give you tax-free income, eliminate required minimum distributions, and leave a tax-free estate for your heirs. Call 855-415-ROTH. That's 855-415-ROTH. Or visit Rothright.com. Accredited investors only. Rothright is not a financial advisory firm. Consult with a tax professional before making any financial decision.
Hey, Dawn Stensland here, introducing the all-new 2026 Honda Prelude Hybrid, redesigned with cutting-edge hybrid performance and head-turning style. Coming soon to a Piazza Honda dealer near you. Discover Honda's complete hybrid lineup while you're there, including the popular Accord, Civic, or CR-V, with financing as low as 3.49% for 60 months. Piazza Honda in Philadelphia, Springfield, Langhorne, Pottstown, or Reading. PiazzaHonda.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Hi, I'm Paul Cozy from Cozy Jewelers in Newtown Square. As a family-owned jeweler for over 35 years, Valentine's Day has always been one of my favorite times of year because it's about celebrating love in a personal way. Whether you're choosing something timeless or designing a custom piece, I'll help you create a gift that truly means something, not just for this Valentine's Day, but for years to come. If you're ready to do something extra special, I'd love to help. Visit us at Cozy Jewelers in Newtown Square, and let's make this Valentine's Day unforgettable.
Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Woo! I love it! Guys, you're listening to Kathy Barnette. I am just hanging out on drive time. Guys, here's the phone number. 855-839-1210, 855-839-1210. Absolutely. I love this country. I love this country. And listening to Whitney Houston is what I was thinking as I was watching Donald Trump, President Donald Trump in Davos, give his speech. I mean, it was strong and it was good to have someone on the world stage in a room full of world leaders, some of the most impressive people on the planet in this space, and to have an American president standing up, not apologizing, not subsidizing the world. But in fact, I mean, it really did hit home when he said Canada lives because of us. And you should be grateful. Talking to Prime Minister of Canada, Mark Carney, that was Donald Trump's response. And, and again, as soon as I finished listening to Donald Trump's speech, I pulled up, let me see, how many countries is it? I did this spreadsheet for 195 countries. Last year when Donald Trump came into office, I did this spreadsheet listing all of the trade balances around the world to America as well. And of course, there's huge deficits. We have huge deficits. We import more of their goods than they take of our goods, which thus leaves us with a deficit. And I've been tracking all of the tariff rates, right, how they move and yada, yada. And then I was looking at, since Donald Trump came into office and put into place these tariffs that at the time, if you remember, it was like Chicken Little. The sky is falling. The sky is falling. Inflation. Oh, my God, he's going to destroy the world. But in fact, we've cut our deficit by more than 77%. That doesn't happen. Or at least it hasn't happened in the past 20 plus years when we allow China to enter into the World Trade Organization. And so, it's just amazing. And I'm looking at America is the Disneyland for the world. The world sends all of their stuff into our country, and they heavily rely on you and I as Americans to buy their stuff, to create a market for their stuff, to pay their bills. Even with what Donald Trump has done with the cost of pharmaceuticals, giving us the favored nation status, to where we pay what they pay, right? Because France would pay $5 for a particular, for the, let's say that weight loss pill, but here in America we would pay $30 for it. I'm just throwing out numbers here, but we would pay an exorbitant margin above what any other nation was paying, right? And it was set up that way to where America would subsidize the world. And when Donald Trump stood up there on the world stage and said, Canada lives because of us. And again, as a Christian, I live, I breathe, I move, I have my being in Jesus. So that means something to me. My very existence is because of Jesus. And so when Donald Trump said to Canada, to the Canadians, you live because of us, you exist right now as a nation because of us. And then he went on to talk about Greenland, how we went out there and fought all of these different nations to secure Greenland. And then we gave the country back to the people, to Denmark and to the people of Greenland. And we didn't get a thank you, get out of here, get out of my face. We didn't get anything. We don't ask for anything. We spend all the money. We do all the heavy lifting. And then we give it back to the world. And for some reason, I guess, we thought people were going to pat us on the back and say, good job. No. Instead, what you have is Mark Carney, the Canadian Prime Minister, standing up. And I took some notes. One, he said, the end of a pleasant fiction. We are at the end of a pleasant fiction. The pleasant fiction being America gets to set the rules. So we're at the end of a pleasant fiction and the beginning of a harsh reality. He said geopolitics submitted to no limits, no. So now we're in the age, he said, of a geopolitics of these large hegemonies. So he's talking about America and China, who submit to no limits. They have no constraints. It's the powerful taking it. Whoever the strongest takes it. And he said rules-based order is now over. American hegemony is over. This is what he said, right? So America being the dominant person on the stage, he said, is over, which I would have agreed with him prior to Donald Trump taking office. When Donald Trump said, had he lost November 2024's election, America would be done with. It would be over. It'd be a wrap. It wasn't hyperbole. It was real. And I just talked to you guys when I was talking to my guest, Trish Regan, who was on, that the world powers like China, Russia, Indonesia, India, and so many others, they've been fighting a fight to be the top dog, to be the one who gets to make the rules, to establish the rules and hold people accountable to the rules. That has been America's role. But the world has been fighting this fight for the new top dog for about 20 plus years. But America wasn't in that fight. We were too busy hollowing out our industry, sending all of our best jobs to all of these other people around the world, writing checks for everyone to do whatever it is that they wanted to do. That's been our role. And then Donald Trump walks in, and for the first time, we are now in the battle. I'm about to take a break. You are listening to Kathy Barnette here on the #1 talk radio station in Philadelphia. How y'all doing out there? I see y'all guys. I see you guys out here on YouTube as well. I'm going to get to some of your comments in a moment. If you want to chime in, call me 855-839-1210, 855-839-1210.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Ethos.
Intel is looking to get its mojo back in the video game market. Intel announced at the Consumer Electronics Show that it's working on a new gaming-dedicated processor along with a new handheld gaming platform. Rivals NVIDIA and AMD have increasingly taken market share away from Intel with their highly sought-after graphics chips. Intel's future gaming platform will be built with its Core Series 3 processors powering new PCs. I'm Jason Brooks.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-393-4600. That's 800-393-4600.
Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. Visit trustandwill.com for details.
Trust and Will.
My dad and I were always close, but some things we just didn't talk about, like his will. After he was gone, we found out he didn't have one, and it created a lot of stress during a time of grief.
Creating a will can be hard to think about, but avoiding it can lead to greater difficulty for the people you love. That's why Trust and Will makes estate planning simple. Create a will online in as little as 30 minutes.
Now, I have a will in place to make sure my loved ones are protected. With Trust and Will, it was easy and affordable, and I got peace of mind knowing my wishes are clear.
Trust and Will.
Get 20% off when you visit trustandwill.com/plan. That's trustandwill.com/plan to get 20% off. trustandwill.com/PLAN.
Start the new year off on a healthier note by taking active liver supplements from New Nordic, available online at Amazon, NewNordicUSA.com, or your local CVS, ShopRite, Meijer Grocery, or Wegmans.
Every man should have their health optimized. 14 Men's Health offers a unique approach to men's health, providing individualized solutions that address a wide range of critical issues. Dr. Michael Athanasios supports you with cardiovascular disease prevention, improvement in erectile dysfunction, testosterone replacement and enhancement, nutrition counseling, and weight control, all in one place. Reduce the need for multiple appointments with different specialists. Visit 14menshealth.com. Make an appointment today for personalized health care. 14 Men's Health, with one doctor, one location for life. 14menshealth.com.
Ready to redefine your home style? Bucks County Estate Traders offers a breathtaking collection of furniture to suit every taste. From timeless antiques to chic modern designs, discover thousands of meticulously cared for pieces, each one inspected for quality. Explore their ever-changing inventory, featuring styles from classic Victorian to sleek contemporary and charming coastal. And with their expert team often reupholstering finds, you're sure to discover unique treasures ready to make a statement in your home. Visit BucksCountyEstateTraders.com or their showroom in Hatfield today.
Newsmax, you like Newsmax. I like it too. Newsmax has been terrific.
President Trump is right. Millions like you are tuning into Newsmax. You're watching Newsmax on cable. You're going to our streaming channel, Newsmax 2. And you're downloading our free Newsmax app on your smartphones and TVs. Reuters Institute says we're now one of the top news brands in the nation. Every night, watch great shows with Rob Schmidt, Carl Higbie, Rob Finnerty, and more as they expose the big media lies, the Washington swamp, and they're never afraid to talk about faith, freedom, and the values that made us great. Find out why Newsmax is the fastest-growing news channel in America. Make the switch today and join our news revolution. Get Newsmax on cable, on streaming, and download the free app today. It takes just seconds to start. Let President Trump know you stand with Newsmax. It's for real news, for real people. Make the switch today.
Broadcasting live from the Piazza Auto Group studios. Experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
They don't love you like I love you, Pennsylvania. Do we have that clip? I want to play that clip, if you guys have it. Do you have it?
We're building a Golden Dome that's going to, just by its very nature, going to be defending Canada. Canada gets a lot of freebies from us, by the way. They should be grateful also, but they're not. I watched your Prime Minister yesterday. He wasn't so grateful. But they should be grateful to us. Canada lives because of the United States. Remember that, Mark, the next time you make your statements.
You gotta love him. You gotta love him. Woo! He is that dog in a fight. But I thought it was really interesting. And that's why I wanted to say to you guys, I think, like if you thought like you can get a breather because, we open up the new year. If any one of those individual things had happened with Maduro being nabbed, being brought to America, being indicted, or with Iran and all that's going on there, or even with Tim Walz suspending his gubernatorial campaign, had any one of those things happen, it would have been monumental and we would be talking about it for a very long time. But that just all happened in the first 7 days of the new year. And now look at where we are. Then Renee Good happens the second week. And then you have the ICE raid. And now you have Don Lemon busting down into, think about that. That is I grew up in the deep south of Alabama. And that is something you would see the KKK doing. Those are the stories I was told about when the KKK will bust into churches because they wanted to force a certain way of thinking on a group of people. That's what Don Lemon just did. I see you guys. You're listening to Kathy Barnette. I'll be back on the other side.
This is a test of the emergency alert system. This has been a test of the emergency alert system.
Searching for a new path to wellness. Dr. Molly Fantasia explains how medical hydration therapy can help you reclaim your energy. Listen to Health Watch, Sunday mornings at 8 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
At PGW, safety is essential to delivering clean, reliable natural gas to Philadelphia homes and businesses. If you smell gas, call PGW at 215-235-1212.
Pastor Brad Lacey here, First Baptist Church, Conshohocken. Join us Saturdays for the great message and be blessed. 5 a.m. right here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 1039 FM.
Forecasters are warning of snow this weekend, and some municipalities are already low on road salt. Children's Hospital of Philadelphia is planning to open a network of outpatient centers to provide early autism care for kids. And PETA is calling for technology to replace Puxatawny Phil on Groundhog Day.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I
I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install a Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $40 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $18 a month, a savings of nearly $300 a year.
Whether you need a $100,000 policy or a $10 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. In a hurry? Don't worry. With SelectQuote, you can get up to $2 million in instant, affordable same-day coverage with no medical exam.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-637-9116. That's 1-800-637-9116. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-637-9116. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
Announcing that gold has surpassed $4,600 an ounce last week, and silver is at an all-time high as well. If you need cash to help pay those holiday bills, then you must go to the Estates Roadshow. Gold and silver, old rings, chains, and even broken jewelry. Don't wait. Cash in while gold and silver are hot. 4 locations this week: Chestnut Hill, Media, St. David's, and Doylestown. Bring your gold, silver, coins, diamonds, and watches, even broken pieces, and get cash on the spot. The prices of gold and silver are at an all-time high, so there's never been a better time to sell. No appointments, no fees, no pressure, just friendly professional buyers with over 35 years in the business. Go to the Estates Roadshow, Monday through Friday at the Chestnut Hill Hotel, in Media at the Hampton Inn, St. David's at the Radnor Hotel, and Monday through Thursday at the Doylestown Inn. Get some cash in your hands today to help pay those holiday bills at the Estates Roadshow. For more info, visit estatesroadshow.com.
Hi, this is Dave Barlow from Barlow Buick GMC in Woodbury, New Jersey. At Barlow, we believe that family comes first, and so does the ride that gets you there. Whether it's the elegant design of the Buick Enclave or the power and confidence of the GMC Sierra, we've got the perfect vehicle to start your year right. This new year, enjoy incredible savings, honest pricing, and dedicated service. Visit Barlow Buick GMC in Woodbury or shop 24/7 at barlowautogroup.com. Buick, exceptional by design. GMC, we are professional grade.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. All your roles, fill them sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free, and you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
WPHT, WPHT, HD, WOGL, HD3, Philadelphia. From the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. Free speech lives here. Lives here. The WPHT Afternoon Show.
You ain't stopping this. Like, take that, take that, take that, take that. What's up, Pennsylvania, Maryland, New Jersey, Delaware? I see I have somebody, David in South Carolina, and Richard. I love the comments out here on YouTube. Guys, you're listening to Kathy Barnette, and we're going to keep this train moving right along. Richard, I just wanted to read your comment. Every now and again, I'm going to pop out here on YouTube. But Richard said, feminism set the bar too high for women and men. Women expected to do it all, leading to stress and insecurity, while men insecure in meeting women's expectations. Richard, I hear no lies. I think you're onto something there. I really do. So I wanted to just read that off. Okay, guys, I'm so excited for this next interview. I have been watching him since maybe about a month or so ago when he popped onto my radar. Brian Stern. Hey, Brian, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
I am doing well. For those of you who may not know Brian, he is the man behind the mission known as Operation Golden Dynamite. You got to tell me how y'all come up with these names, Brian, later. But Brian was a part of the rescue mission of Maria Corina Machado from Venezuela. You guys know her, right? We will talk about her in a few moments. But Brian, he was a part of this high-risk operation. Brian Stern is a U.S. military special operations and combat veteran and founder of Florida-based Gray Bull Rescue. And I am so excited for this firsthand account of your extraction of Maria Corina Machado from Venezuela. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so I lead a thing. We're a nonprofit. GrayBullRescue.org is our website. We're a veteran-led, donor-funded international rescue organization. Maria was our 800th mission that we've done, my team and I, in about 4 years, just over 4 years. We've actually just completed 801. We've done another mission since then.
Oh, my goodness.
That turns into just about 8,500 lives saved. We're just under 8,500 at the moment. Entirely donor funded. We don't even get a thank you note from the government, let alone $1. We got called. So Maria Corina Machado is the rightful. She won the election in Venezuela. Maduro, once she won, Maduro's been trying to kill her ever since. She was in hiding for just over 7 months. They were targeting her. From Maduro's perspective, Maria was to Maduro what bin Laden was to us. That's the best way to think about it. So they were spending hundreds of thousands of dollars, sometimes millions of dollars a day trying to find her. She was kind of public enemy number one against the cartels, against Maduro, against all the bad guys in Venezuela.
Right.
So she wins the Nobel Peace Prize, and it comes out a few months ago that she's going to win that she won the Nobel Peace Prize.
Right.
And the name of the game was get the bride to the church on time, right? There were other attempts to get her out. Those attempts did not work. Other people said it couldn't be done. Some people tried and failed, whatever. We got called on a Friday night, right around 9 p.m. East Coast time, and she was in Norway by Wednesday dinner.
Wow. So what is that? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So this was so you got the call on Friday, had to do, I'm assuming, some kind of reconnaissance to understand what you were going to walk into. And by Wednesday, she was in Oslo?
Correct. So Friday night, we got the call around 9 p.m., did a little bit of planning that night. Saturday, we did some more planning and started to move some pieces around the board. Monday, we left the United States for the operating area on Monday. Got there on Monday, late afternoon on Monday, and then initiated the operation. Second conditions on Tuesday morning. We initiated late Tuesday afternoon, did it Tuesday night, got her to an airplane right on. We came ashore 4 a.m. Wednesday morning. She was in the air on an airplane 6 a.m. Wednesday morning and landed in Norway Wednesday night and was able to get her Nobel Prize.
Wow. Land, boat, air. And you do this as donor funded organization.
Correct. We're a charity. We don't charge money and we don't make money either.
Yeah, guys, you are listening to Brian Stearns. He is a U.S. military special operations and combat veteran and founder of Florida-based Gray Bull Rescue. So go out there and find him real quick. So going back to this, because this operation, and you described why it was considered a high-risk operation because there's so much money and time and effort by the Maduro regime to find her, locate her for whatever their purposes was. But what is it about Venezuela's security state and criminal network that made the operation so high risk?
Well, it's funny. If you take Maria aside for a moment, tactically speaking, we've done lots of boats. We've done lots of checkpoints. We've done lots of war. In fact, Venezuela as an operating environment, we've done harder things. We've worked in Russian-occupied Ukraine. We worked in Gaza. We worked in Sudan, Afghanistan, Iran, Lebanon, Syria. We work in some pretty gnarly places. So Venezuela, comparatively, wasn't that bad, to be honest. I mean, it's a police state, lots of repression, and the intelligence service is really good and all those things, but we're good at all that. We're good at that. The problem is Maria. Maria is kind of like Hillary Clinton, insofar as if Hillary Clinton walked into any restaurant anywhere in the world, people would go, whether you like Hillary or you don't like Hillary, people would say, there's Hillary Clinton. Right? Whether you like Hillary or not. Maria in the Western Hemisphere is just like that. Just like that.
So very high profile.
She is the second most famous person in the Western Hemisphere after Nicolas Maduro. There are billboards with her face everywhere, school buses. There was a protest in her favor where 300,000 people showed up carrying pictures of her face to a protest a few weeks before. So her face and her identity and her name and who she is like Michael Jackson, like Mick Jagger. She is a household name and a household face.
See, and here in America, like that doesn't resonate with me, right? Like I didn't know that much about her until she won. But again, I think that's because in America we live in our own little world, our own little bubble.
Yeah, I mean, just like anything else, things don't concern us until they do. But the impact of this mission led to the Maduro raid, which is a great day for America. This is kind of a watershed moment.
Do you believe that? Like, do you believe that because of what you did, it in some way it was one of the many dominoes that failed that led to Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth saying we can go in and do this?
Oh yeah, I'm certain of it. She was the number 2 most famous person in Venezuela, and there was a lot of people that said that it couldn't be done. And then, my entire operating budget for the year is like a rounding error for paper clips for a week at the Pentagon, probably. You know what I mean? So,
and for you to be able to go in and do what you did is penetrable.
Being able to go in, get her undetected while the whole world is looking for her, and they were looking for her that week. This is the part that that gets lost is everyone, all the bad guys knew that if she is leaving, it had to be these 2 or 3 days. So they were really switched on. They were really looking aggressive because they didn't want her to go. Diosdado Cabello, who runs the National Security Council of Venezuela, he was all over social media for like 2 weeks before this, talking about Maria Corina Machado and how he knew where she was and that she was already in Europe and all this other nonsense. None of it was true. And then when we did it, he probably had a lot to answer for. He looked pretty silly because, that doesn't make a lot of sense. So being able to show that it can be done. Oh, yeah, by the way, in the middle of all this, we did this by boat. In the middle of all this is the U.S. military is blowing up boats off the coast of Venezuela 3-4 at a time. So we have a real problem with worrying about getting blown up by America. We have a real problem worried about getting detected by the Venezuelans. She's famous Venezuela has F-16s. They have a Navy. They have an Army. This is not, booger eaters with flip-flops who are peasants.
This isn't Somalia. This isn't Somalia.
Right.
This is a real country with a real government.
Real country with real money and real resources and real things and real guns and real radar and missiles and all the stuff. So being able to demonstrate that we could do this under everyone's noses, undetected and successfully, I think showcased that, Venezuela's scary, but it's not that scary.
Why Maria? She's not president. She was disqualified from running for office in Venezuela. What was it about her situation that compelled you to take a look at her? I'm sure you have people all around the world who you could have chosen.
Well, Maria, what Maria stands for and fights for, if you hear, so I've been following Maria for many years. I've been looking at Venezuela for 8 or 9, 10 years already. So it's interesting because when we found out, Maria for me is a hero. She's a rock star. So she, when I met her at sea, I was starstruck. Of the 8,400 and change people that we rescued, they were all, wonderful people, good, Americans and good people and all that. But really and truly, not a single one of them had a Wikipedia page. Maria is the first person we've ever rescued with a Wikipedia page, And I've been following her for years and years and years. And what she stands for, what her values are, what she fights for, is completely consistent with what we stand for and fight for at Grable Rescue, what I stood and fought for in the military. She wants freedom. She wants democracy. She wants fair elections. She wants prosperity for her people. She does not want terrorism. She does not want narcotics. All the bad things that Maduro brought, she doesn't want any of that. She's an ally. She's an ally. And we take care of our friends. We should take care of our friends. The cornerstone of American foreign policy is our foreign relationships and foreign partners, and Maria is one.
Do you primarily rescue Americans?
Yes,
was Maria the first
non-American? No, we've done non-Americans too. We've done a lot of an American daddy married to a Haitian mommy with a green card, let's say, right? Or kids. We do a lot of work with kids who have all kinds of stuff. So we've rescued people from other nationalities, but always allies and only allies. We've done Japanese, we did German, British, Swedish, Canadian, Australian, kind of mixed bag. But overwhelmingly, we rescue American citizens. What's interesting, this operation was paid for by donors who are sympathetic to Maria Corina Machado, and that's who paid for it.
Okay, well, that makes sense. Okay, so I have a Wikipedia page. So if I am ever, I don't intend to be in a situation like Maria, but if I am, or if anyone is, how do they get in touch with you? Do people go to your website to seek you out and there's a form? Or do you just have to know someone?
A few ways. One, social media. Social media is a great avenue. About 80% of our cases start with social media, which is crazy. Because what happens is when you're in trouble, you call everyone you've ever met, and your friends call everyone they've ever met, and they get on the internet and socials, and they start asking around, and sure enough, we usually come up. So for your viewers and your listeners, it doesn't cost you a penny. Follow Grable Rescue on all the different platforms, or me, Brian Stern, on all the platforms. I don't care about likes. Share, share, share. It saves lives, and it doesn't cost you a dime.
How did you get into this? How did you, of all the things to do, I guess you do have the skill sets of military special operations and combat veteran. Is that how you kind of naturally came into this?
I spent 27 years in the intelligence business and in the intelligence community. And, you don't learn how to do these things in Afghanistan. You just don't. You don't learn how to charter airplanes and do boats and all this weird stuff and checkpoints and stuff in Afghanistan. So it's really the skills that I have are really from the parts of my career that had nothing to do with combat. that has to do with everything else. So I've worked in over 80 countries, 86 countries, I think now. Afghanistan is only one of them. And frankly, it still remains the easiest place I've ever worked, still to this day. Because in Afghanistan during the war, if I'm as an intelligence officer, if things go wrong, I push a button and helicopters come, and Navy SEALs come, and Marines come, and all kinds of bells and whistles and toys come, and we have overwhelming force during the war, right? The way we do that in, let's say, Guatemala, you can't call in close air support in Guatemala. You just can't, right?
Right.
It's a different way of fighting. And my team and I we have a lot of experience in all these different things, from Afghanistan to Guatemala to everywhere. I've worked in coming up on 90 countries. Even after the war in Afghanistan, because we were there for 20 years, we know everybody. We know everybody. You know, we've been there. We were there a long time. We were in Afghanistan before the Army had email. So you know, the networks are established, the relationships are established. So Afghanistan today still remains the easiest place I've ever worked.
And what's one of the hardest places right now on the world stage? One of the most dangerous.
Iran's pretty bad. Russia is very hard. We've done missions there. Iran's very hard. Gaza was hard when Gaza was still going on. But all these places are hard. You know, hurricanes are hard. We do hurricanes too and natural disasters, and those are hard also.
Wow. Wow. You are amazing. Guys, I am talking to Brian Stern. That's Bryan Stern. And he is the founder of Florida-based Gray Bull Rescue. That's Gray spelled Grey. What is your website?
GrayBullRescue.org.
GrayBullRescue.org. What if you could sit down? I mean, I don't drink, but you know, if we were somewhere sitting down, you drinking whatever you drink, me drinking club soda, what would you want Americans to become more aware of about the world around them? You are all over the world. You probably have, I mean, to sit down and talk to you about geopolitics would be so amazing. The reconnaissance, I can't even say the word. The research. Yes, the reconnaissance. My tongue is getting stuck. The reconnaissance that you have to do before walking. I mean, and I mean, like, you must have like a running knowledge of this for you to get the call on Friday, be on the ground there in Venezuela on Monday, start the operation Tuesday night. I mean, you must have a working knowledge of what's going on in all of these different places. What should we know as Americans who are just living the best version of our lives, many of us, but many of us also, I have to say, are acutely even if we don't know the particulars, we all feel the strain and the stress that is all around us.
I think there's a few things to know. Number one, if you go to our website, there are three things to notice. One is look at all the pictures and all the videos.
Hold on, let me go there right now.
Those are American citizens just like you, just like me. Their passport looks like your passport. And every single one of them are in trouble, and every single one of them asked for help, and every single one of them, help didn't come until they called us. We're the last resort. We are who you call, and for everyone else said, I'm in a meeting, or it's too hard, or it can't be done, or whatever. The other thing is there's two very important buttons on the website: request help and give help. If you're in trouble, we are Americans. We take care of each other. I've rescued Muslims, Christian, Jews, black, white, purple, gay, straight, hairy, bald, fat, skinny, men, women, you name it, we've done it. And my team is made up of exactly that same population. I have people on my crew who probably have like MAGA tattoos, who work side by side with people with, Bernie Sanders for president bumper stickers on their car. Because as Americans, none of that crap really matters. That matters kinda, but when we're in trouble, just like when you call 911, you're in Philly. If you call 911, your house is on fire, right? And you call 911, they don't ask you who'd you vote for. Did you vote for the mayor? who's the chief executive, right? They don't ask, are you a Republican or Democrat? Are you black or white? Are you male or female? They say, what's your address? And we're on our way. That's why in the emergency services in the first response community, law enforcement, medical, fire, the success of different departments is measured in response times. That's why response times is such a thing, because when you need help, you need it right now. You wouldn't be calling otherwise. So when people call us, they've already called everybody else already. And they've all said, if they answer the phone, they've all said no, or too hard, or whatever. We like to say yes. We like to say yes. 801 missions later, almost 8,500 people later, babies, kids, you name it. My team and I were just Americans doing what Americans have always done, which is show up when we are needed.
I love it. And guys, you can go also. I'm out here on the website. It's a really nice website, by the way, Brian. But you can go to graybullrescue.org. I'm looking. I see the request for help. I pray to God I nor anyone I know ever have to press that button. But I also see the button that says donate. And before tonight is over, you will see a donation come from me. I think this is a wonderful organization because the world is not as big. It's getting smaller. And it's very dangerous. I see right here you have this flashing button that says request help from Iran and Venezuela. Are you getting a lot of requests from Iran and Venezuela right now?
Yeah, we have a bunch coming in. We've already done a bunch. That's why we've already, Maria was 800, was mission 800. We just completed 801. So we are busier than we've ever been.
And how many people usually go into these missions with you? Like you have a team of what? 120?
120. Maria Karina Machado was done with 3 men.
Wow. Wow. You would be a cool guy to invite to a barbecue. I love it. Brian Stern, thank you so much for taking some time out. I'm going to ask your girl, your PR person, if I can get your phone number, if you don't mind letting her know that she can give it to me. I greatly appreciate it. I would love to have you back on and maybe in some other settings as well. Brian, thank you so much for all that you do.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thanks for having us on. Appreciate
Yes, absolutely. Wow, that's America. I love it. I love our country. We have some of the best people. We're not perfect. No one's perfect. But by golly, I've traveled the world too. I was in the military for 10 years. I mean, you would be hard pressed to find any other country that is running a close second to us. It was so endearing to see President Trump stand so strong, so tall, unapologetic, and yet with a sense of resolve in his tone that this is the path we've chosen. Because remember, I started off 3 o'clock hour saying life is a series of choices. And I believe 2026 is the year of no longer pretending that there are no consequences to choices. This is the year that the roosters come home to roost. All of this, you can have your cake and eat it too. We can open up the border. We can just write big checks. We can have debt unlimited. Boys can be girls. Girls can be boys. All of that foolishness is over. And we're now in the process of regaining order in this country because it's necessary, because the world is not waiting. I do not believe it was hyperbole when Donald Trump said, had I lost the 2024 election, it would be a wrap for this nation. I don't believe that was hyperbole. I believe everything that I know, based on what I know, I believe that to be absolutely correct. We had less than 18 months under any other president beside Donald Trump. Not that he is perfect. Y'all know what he did to me in that senatorial race. And yet, as a grown woman who loves this country and I want us to get in a better position, he is exactly what we needed at this moment and this time. And the resolve I saw, I, for one, am just head over heels. I'm so excited. Okay, I got to take a break. We'll be right back. You're listening to Kathy Barnette. I would love for you guys to call in. I mean, what are y'all doing? Call me. 855-839-1210. 855-839-1210, and I'll be back on the other side.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55, but unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Have you been thinking about doing a Roth conversion, but the upfront taxes are holding you back? Welcome to Roth Right. We can show you how to significantly reduce taxes on a conversion, potentially saving hundreds of thousands, even millions in taxes over your lifetime. A Roth conversion will give you tax-free income, eliminate required minimum distributions, and leave a tax-free estate for your heirs. Call 855-415-ROTH. That's 855-415-ROTH. Or visit rothright.com. Accredited investors only. Roth Right is not a financial advisory firm. Consult with a tax professional before making any financial decision.
It's Nick Cale here. Start your new year off right with that new or certified pre-owned luxury vehicle you've been wanting. My friends from Piazza Premium Automobiles are available to assist you in your unique vehicle search throughout the tri-state area. That's right. The Piazza Premium family has dealerships in Pennsylvania, Delaware, and New Jersey. Find your Alfa Romeo, Maserati, Mercedes-Benz, Porsche, Jaguar, or Land Rover at PiazzaPremiumAutos.com. That's PIAZZA premiumautos.com and tell them Nick sent you.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55, but unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Wesley Financial.
Intel is looking to get its mojo back in the video game market. Intel announced at the Consumer Electronics Show that it's working on a new gaming-dedicated processor along with a new handheld gaming platform. Rivals NVIDIA and AMD have increasingly taken market share away from Intel with their highly sought-after graphics chips. Intel's future gaming platform will be built with its Core Series 3 processors powering new PCs. I'm Jason Brooks.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Tune in to the Crash Proof Retirement Show Saturdays at 11 a.m. to hear Joanne Small-Canella and Tracy Stillman. The Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturday mornings at 11 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
You can now tune in to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the iHeartRadio app.
That's right. We're going to have a good day. That was for my YouTube crew out there, David, specifically David from South Carolina. There you go, a little Frank Forest for you. Jerry, I see you in Philly. Let me just bring in Dr. Victoria Coates. Hello, doctor. How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
I am doing well. Dr. Victoria Coates is Vice President of the Heritage Foundation and former Deputy National Security Advisor. Victoria, do you mind if we take a couple of calls real quick and you can help me answer?
Fine.
Awesome.
Sure.
Jerry, you've been on hold, and Michael, I'm going to come right to you right after. Jerry in Philly. Hey, Jerry. Jerry, are you there?
How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well. I hear that Philly accent. What's up?
I just, it was just listening to you endorse most of the stuff that went on this year in Trump's first year, and knowing that he didn't endorse you. It's just refreshing to hear that. I mean, it's not easy to have a business hat and a personal hat and not take that personal, I guess. Yeah. It's pretty humbling. I appreciate, and I listen to you. I just had to compliment you on something that a lot of people just can't do today.
Wow. Thank you so much, Jerry. You know, Jerry, the thing that helps me is reminding myself why I got in the world of politics in the first place. And it wasn't because I wanted power for the sake of power. I wanted power so that I can give it back to the people, and so that we can so that we can help our country. I saw exactly where we were heading in 2019, 2020, when I jumped in for the very first time. So thank you so much. I truly do appreciate that.
Well, if you ever run again, you definitely will have my vote, so you should go for it.
Thank you so much, Jerry. And Dr. Victoria, one more caller. Michael, how are you?
I'm great, Kathy. How are you?
I am doing well. Thank you so much for calling.
Okay, I want to double down what he just said, and if you run again, you got my vote.
Look at that. I love y'all. I do. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Do you have a question?
I guess for your guest. I see her all the time on Newsmax.
Okay, awesome. Well, Dr. Victoria Coates is right here. You have a question for her?
Yes, doctor. I was wondering what you think is going to happen. What's Trump going to do about what's happened with the stuff in Minnesota? Is he going to...
the Insurrection Act?
Yeah, it's going to do that, and if he can talk to Pam, she got to do something.
Pam Bondi.
She talk to me,
Okay. Well, Michael, thank you so much, sir. I appreciate that. And if anyone else wants to call in while I'm talking to Dr. Victoria Coates, please call at 855-839-1210, 855-839-1210. Okay, I knew I just kind of threw you right into the mix of all of that, Dr. Victoria, but do you have any response to Michael's question?
It's a really important question, and what we're seeing is immigration issues become a national security issue. And it's why at Heritage, the Border and Immigration Group is actually in my Davis Institute. It's one of the four centers that I have. And because Dr. Roberts just believes very strongly that the national security risks of what has happened over the 4 years of the Biden administration in terms of this unfettered immigration are a huge threat to our national security as the United States. And just you look at what has happened in Minnesota, specifically in Minneapolis, and a very problematic just embrace of open immigration, and then excuse for fraud, for law breaking, for this kind of demonstration, this kind of attack on our fine men and women of ICE and border enforcement. So I think the president's been very cautious about the Insurrection Act while reserving the right to invoke it should he need to. So I think he'll continue to monitor the situation closely. We'll have hopefully engagement from the Attorney General and the Director of the FBI. So we'll see what happens. But to date, he's been cautious. So we'll see what he does going forward.
You know, there's something real insidious. It appears to me what is happening in Minnesota is that, you know, for several weeks now, the anger of the mob has been directed at federal employees, specifically ICE. But now it is beginning to extend beyond the government and now spilling onto American citizens. And specifically, as we saw, I call him Don Lemon and his merry band of Black Lives Matter activists who followed into this church and now just kind of spewing their hatred. And it's not a discussion. I believe it is criminal. We will see what happens with this, but it does seem like, you know, like this thing is really devolving from just focusing on the federal government, which was bad enough as ICE is out there trying to, you know, unwind, put the genie back in the box that the Biden administration let out with the open borders and allowing all of these people to just walk into our country. So it's bad enough that they're focused on them, but now they're beginning to extend beyond the federal government and now spilling onto American people.
No, it is, and it shows you, what an article of faith this has become for this radicalized group of Americans. Who, I mean, it's as if it's immoral for us to want to have borders, to want to have a lawful system of immigration, to want to deport those who are illegally in our country. You know, this just seems like simple common sense to me. But for them, the very thought that you might deport someone, the very thought that you might prevent someone from having entry is immoral. It's dead wrong, and it justifies, you know, trying to ram an ICE official with your car. It justifies disrupting a peaceful church service to scream and yell and demand the pastor be brought out because you don't even know. You think he might have ties to ICE. And it's just, it's outrageous. And I have to think, Kathy, this is not a winning issue with the American people. It might be a winning issue in some of these blue cities in blue states. But you think about our great state of Pennsylvania, I mean, I don't see the people in Lancaster County thinking that this is a terrific idea.
You know, I mean, yeah, like let's double click on that for a moment because, you know, the name of the game is obviously to win and to put yourself in the best position to win. And so I think to myself, like you, this is clearly not a winning issue, right? Like trying to be out here, you know, antagonizing and inciting, you know, people to just fling their bodies out here on trucks. I see trucks dragging these white women who have had a break from reality in many of those videos. And then you see black people, you know, we can go all the way back to Black Lives Matter, how ridiculous that all was. And so you see this and you're like, this chaos cannot be the winning issue. And then I have to think, with all of this conversation about ICE and now Don Lemon going into, you know, church places of worship, the thing we're not talking about now is fraud. No one's talking about the fraud, the Somali fraud, the Leering Center, the Quality Leering Center, and the blackout windows, and that there are no children, right? So maybe that's their goal, is to create so much chaos that it creates distraction that we're not focused on the fraud, the real issue, and then maybe two, because I believe there's a lot of theft in our elections. I believe there's a lot of, you know, that our elections are not on the, that it's more of a selection and not an election in many places. So maybe they don't worry about the voters coming out and vote because they have the election already in the bag. I don't know, but I do think to myself, the name of the game is to present popular ideas and so that people will vote for you. There's nothing that Democrats are offering that's really popular. So what are they doing?
You know, they don't tell me, so they don't confide in me, but their plans are. But you know, I'll tell you, you know, you can see all of these contested elections coming down to a handful of very blue cities. I'm sad to say my home city of Philadelphia, Atlanta, Minneapolis, where you do have these corrupt politicians who can generate a certain number of votes. And, it's basically known you have to win Pennsylvania by X number of votes because those votes are coming out of Philadelphia come hell or high water. And so you've got to beat that spread, if you will, to win in Pennsylvania. And, President Trump did that. And that's was one of the key tickets to his reelection. But they do seem to thrive on chaos and anarchy, and it seems to me so antithetical to fundamental American values that that hopefully they just continue to expose themselves for this lawlessness, and we have to do a better job of getting the actual facts of this kind of systemic fraud, and then where that money is going. Why I'm sort of up on the Minneapolis fraud is they were sending all that money back to Somalia, not to disadvantaged relatives. They were sending it to Boko Haram. They were sending it to a designated terrorist group, and close to $1 billion went to Boko Haram. So we are paying for Islamist.
How do you know that?
Terrorists.
I mean, like, how do you know that? Is there paperwork, receipts? Like, how do we know that they took money, our taxpayer dollars, and sent it? I mean, our taxpayer dollars.
I think they tracked it. I mean,
was supposed to go to Leering
this
Center.
is all. Yeah, this is all open source reporting. So my assumption is they were able to track the transactions, which would be digital transactions, and were able to follow the money. So you skimmed. If you're a small Leering Center and you skim off, $5 million, and you transfer it back to Somalia and it goes into the account of somebody who's a Boko Haram associate. I mean, that's how it works.
Yeah. I mean, it's just so ridiculous. Did you watch Donald Trump speak today at I want to say Davos. Davos. I can't even forget. I can't even talk right now. What's going on with my tongue? But did you watch him speak today?
I did.
Yeah.
It was a great speech.
I thought so, too. I really did. It was just like something so warm and soothing to see our leaders being so unapologetic and for having so much resolve about what we were going to do to protect our own interests.
Oh, absolutely. So, the president did a number of I thought, excellent things in that speech. I was pleased to hear him say we're not going to invade Greenland. That had become a distraction. And, quite frankly, after what we saw in the B-2 bombing of Iran and the Maduro exercise in Venezuela, it probably would have been embarrassingly easy to invade Greenland. So I'm glad we didn't do it. And it was just causing too much churn. And I think he realized that. And he was like, no, we're not going to invade the sovereign territory of a NATO ally. But you all need to understand why this is vitally important to me. And if you look, there are some really interesting maps in the Wall Street Journal on January 16th of why Greenland matters to the United States. And I really recommend folks look at those. And it's things like the trajectory of intercontinental ballistic missiles, potentially with nuclear warheads from Russia. 3/4 of the trajectories of their known missile sites would fly over Greenland. That's why we need to have interceptor bases there. And it's not good enough to just have pledges of goodwill from Denmark or Greenland that we can have those interceptor bases. We need a legal basis for which we then have ownership of that territory. And that's what the president's saying. Like, a lease isn't good enough. We need ownership of this. And this, we can set that up a couple of different ways. We have arrangements like that with some of the Pacific Island countries, think Palau, Marshall Islands, that kind of thing, where we have these formal arrangements with them that give us ownership of what we need in those countries. So I think that's what the president was working on with the NATO Secretary General today as well. I was pleased to see, he's taking the tariffs off the table for the moment. That doesn't mean he can't put them back on the table, but if we are making progress, he will give on these things. So I'm hopeful that by the time he leaves Davos, we have at least a framework of an agreement, and this will keep the American people much safer.
What you know, I know that Donald Trump, every time he mentions any of the European leaders by name, he follows it up with, I have a wonderful relationship with them. Now, so we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. What we get to see is this interaction and eye roll and, the giggling, and it looks like an antagonistic relationship coming from these European Union towards Donald Trump. Do you think that the members of the EU would be open to sitting down and having a conversation about why it is necessary for America to have more than a leasing arrangement concerning Greenland?
It would be nice if they would, but it's certainly not necessary. I mean, Emmanuel Macron, the president of France, is the lamest of lame ducks. He has to leave office this year. His party will be swept from power, and he has no ability to actually affect an outcome on Greenland. It is a bilateral issue with Denmark within the framework of NATO. And so that is why the NATO Secretary General, Mark Rutte, is the one who's actually brokering this deal. Emmanuel Macron can't get us to a deal. Keir Starmer, heaven knows, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, whose I think approval rating is at 13%, he has no ability to get to a deal. So they can roll their eyes all they want. Everybody knows they have no strength, that nobody in Davos wants to talk to them. Everybody in Davos wants to talk to President Trump, so much so that we just had to take down a fraudulent website that was promising to get access to Donald Trump for huge sums of money. And it was a total fraud, but people, from Fortune 500 companies were trying to use the service.
Well, we're the hottest thing. We're the hottest thing, Donald Trump says, right? Like, we're the hottest ticket.
Nobody's trying to scalp tickets to see Emmanuel Macron, I can tell you that much.
With his glasses, do you know what's up with the
his
shades?
Louis Vuitton glasses, hilarious.
Like, what is that about? Did his wife hit him in the eye? Like, what happened? Like, why is he walking around on stage with glasses?
So he did have, I think, a burst blood vessel in his eye. So there was a medical reason for the glasses. This was claimed, but maybe Brigitte did take a poke at him. Who knows?
Who knows? Last question. Do you think Starmer, Macron, and the other EU members realize that Europe has fallen?
I think I would divide Europe into what my old boss, Don Rumsfeld, used to call Old Europe, to include those, and then New Europe. We hosted 2 delegations from Hungary at Heritage today. We've been spending a lot of time with our Baltic and Nordic partners, all of whom are well over 5% of defense spending. I think you'll see in the forthcoming U.S. posture review of where we put our troops around the globe, we're going to be moving them out of old Europe into places to the north, closer to the Russian border, and reducing their numbers. And I think that is extremely prudent. So there's still good partners in Europe. I think we're going to see some political changes. We're going to see change in Portugal, potentially Spain, potentially France, potentially the United Kingdom over the course of the next year or so. Perhaps they can save themselves, but right now you're right. They are circling the drain.
I mean, they really are, and the sad part of that, I don't think they know it. I don't think I think they know it.
They might be waking up to it.
Yeah. Like, maybe they know it, but maybe they realize, like, they either can't do anything about it or they're just weak and they don't want to do anything about it. But nonetheless,
well, I think that. I was just going to say, I think they would much rather go back to freeloading off the United States, but Donald Trump is not going to stand for that.
Well, you heard what Mark Carney said there, right? He said the end of a pleasant fiction and the beginning of a harsh reality is upon us. A pleasant fiction being America gets to set all the rules and write all the checks, and we just come with our hands out and just leech off of her. That's how I read that.
Yeah, because, I mean, Canada has been at 1.38% of GDP on defense. President Trump's getting us to 5% next year. Canada better match it, or they can stop crying to us for help with Arctic security.
Okay, well, there you have it. You are listening to Dr. Victoria Coates. I have people on YouTube saying, ring, ring, they're calling, but can't get through. You guys may want to check the lines. But Dr. Victoria Coates, thank you so much for calling in. I
Thank you,
appreciate
Kathy.
it. Yes, Dr.
Anytime.
Victoria Coates, Vice President of the Heritage Foundation and former Deputy National Security Advisor Okay, should I take a break or should I just go straight on to the hour? Okay, so I'm going to just talk for another couple of minutes. Like I say to my family, I can talk. Because there's just so much. There's so much. I know. I see you guys out there. You're saying ring, ring, and you're calling in. I don't know what's going on with the lines. Hopefully you can get through. Please call in. The number is 855-839-1210, 855-839-1210. I just seen your text. I don't live. Okay. So anyway, 855-839-1210. Please call in. I will love it. The next hour is just you and me, babies. So call in and let's have a conversation. Let's have a dialogue. Because there's so much, whether we're talking about Davos. That's it. Davos. Also, did you guys hear about Tina Peters being assaulted? Yeah, I saw that video. I don't know. I think I sent the team the video link of her actually grabbing someone by the neck as well. We'll talk about that. But also, I want to get to these 81 House Republicans who voted to fund the National Endowment for Democracy. Let's talk about that, as well as the senators as well, who was a part of all of that, because I think you guys should know. So that's going to be my spotlight on Pennsylvania of what's going on here. Okay, guys, listen, you're listening to Kathy Barnette. I am on the #1 talk radio station in all of Philadelphia, which basically means all of Pennsylvania. Here is the call-in number, 855-839-1210, 855-839-1210. I see you guys on the other side.
Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. Visit trustandwill.com for details.
Trust and Will.
My dad and I were always close, but some things we just didn't talk about, like his will. After he was gone, we found out he didn't have one, and it created a lot of stress during a time of grief.
Creating a will can be hard to think about, but avoiding it can lead to greater difficulty for the people you love. That's why Trust and Will makes estate planning simple. Create a will online in as little as 30 minutes.
Now, I have a will in place to make sure my loved ones are protected. With Trust and Will, it was easy and affordable. And I got peace of mind knowing my wishes are clear.
Trust and Will.
Get 20% off when you visit trustandwill.com/plan. That's trustandwill.com/plan to get 20% off. trustandwill.com/PLAN.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Are you tired of feeling worn out halfway through your workout or exhausted before the day even begins? If staying active matters to you, fuel your body with Rescue Orosine. Most people don't realize your body runs on ATP, the natural energy that powers every muscle, every heartbeat, every step. But as we age, ATP production slows down, taking stamina and endurance with it. That's where Rescue Orosine comes in. This cutting-edge formula with research-backed ingredients supports ATP production at the cellular level. You can keep moving, keep your heart pumping, and keep doing what you love every day without jitters or crashes. Just use the code MyEnergy to buy one, get one free today at res-q.com or call a Rescue Product Consultant, 800-26-ALIVE. Don't miss out. Again, that's 800-262-5483 or online at res-q.com. Get your second bottle of Rescue Orosine for free. Use that code MyEnergy at checkout.
This is Jordan Lundy of Lundy Law. When we say we hope you're never injured on the job, we mean it. But if you should suffer a work injury, we'll work quickly and tirelessly to get you the maximum compensation you deserve. And we mean it when we say there are never any upfront fees, ever. And we only get paid when your case is over and you get paid. Remember our name, Lundy Law. Your injury lawyers. Call 1-800-LUNDY-LAW or visit lundylaw.com.
A new year is the perfect time to look around your home, especially the kitchen and bathrooms you use every day, and think about a refresh. That's where Kitchen Magic comes in. They're a family-owned company crafting quality American-made kitchens and baths since 1979, and they make the process simple from start to finish. Right now, enjoy 30% off kitchen cabinet refacing and 50% off bathroom installations, plus the opportunity to lock in current pricing. Start the year with a home that looks better and works better. Visit kitchenmagic.com today.
Announcing that gold has surpassed $4,600 an ounce last week, and silver is at an all-time high as well. If you need cash to help pay those holiday bills, then you must go to the Estates Roadshow. Gold and silver, old rings, chains, and even broken jewelry. Don't wait. Cash in while gold and silver are hot. 4 locations this week: Chestnut Hill, Media, St. David's, and Doylestown. Bring your gold, silver, coins, diamonds, and watches, even broken pieces, and get cash on the spot. The prices of gold and silver are at an all-time high, so there's never been a better time to sell. No appointments, no fees, no pressure, just friendly professional buyers with over 35 years in the business. Go to the Estates Roadshow, Monday through Friday at the Chestnut Hill Hotel, in Media at the Hampton Inn, St. David's at the Radnor Hotel, and Monday through Thursday at the Doylestown Inn. Get some cash in your hands today to help pay those holiday bills at the Estates Roadshow. For more info, visit estatesroadshow.com.
Have you been thinking about doing a Roth conversion, but the upfront taxes are holding you back? Welcome to Roth Right. We can show you how to significantly reduce taxes on a conversion, potentially saving hundreds of thousands, even millions in taxes over your lifetime. A Roth conversion will give you tax-free income, eliminate required minimum distributions, and leave a tax-free estate for your heirs. Call 855-415-ROTH. That's 855-415-ROTH. Or visit rothright.com. Accredited investors only. Roth Right is not a financial advisory firm. Consult with a tax professional before making any financial decision.
Hi, this is Larry Steinhaus, and I want to let you know that I buy houses. I buy houses from people that may be a tired landlord, maybe somebody who's having trouble selling their house, or maybe someone who needs to sell their house quickly. Well, all you need to do is call 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137, and I promise to answer the phone and help you with your situation. That's right, your house may be cluttered. It may be a house that a relative left you, or it may just be a house you just want to get rid of. 855-939-1137.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
WPHT, HD, WOGL, HD3, Philadelphia. From the Piazza Auto Group Studios, experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Now, The Drive at 5. 30 minutes.
Okay, we are back. You're listening to Kathy Barnette. Yes. I know. Oh, my goodness. I just love my music. Okay, listen. You're listening to Kathy Barnette. Here is the call-in number, 855-839-1210, 855-839-1210. And I have callers. I love it. Hey, G in South Jersey. What's up?
Hello, Miss Barnette.
Hello.
I just want you to know, I didn't know if I could get through. I tried a few times, and they didn't pick up. I noticed you commented about that.
Well,
but I listen to you all the time. I think you're wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
And I didn't know if I could get through, so I wrote a little something while I was waiting.
Okay.
Miss Kathy Barnette has passion with a purpose and patriotism with pride in our future for our blessed America. We all love you, Miss Kathy. Please keep fighting the good fight for all of us. God bless you, Miss Kathy.
Oh, wow. Miss G, thank you so much. Oh, my gosh, you're blessing my heart. I came here to bless you, to be a blessing to you guys, but you have blessed my heart. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
You take care. Be well. God bless.
Oh, blessings. Okay, up next, Ed. Is this Ed that I talk to quite often?
May be cold, but you're bold and beautiful.
Hello, Ed, with your rhyme.
Hey.
I love it. How you doing, sir?
Hey, I am doing great because I am talking to you, and you always know the right things to say and do.
Look at that. There you have it. I would not have had a show without, it would not have been complete, Ed, had you not called. So thank you so
Well,
much. I appreciate
you're
it.
more than super neat, and now it's complete.
Woo!
You're a real treat.
You guys are blowing my head up. I am just like, I'm like all that and then some, according to you guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate
I know I
it.
made the right plan because I'm your big fan.
Thank you so much, Ed. Have a blessed day.
All right, you got it. Bye-bye.
Okay, Richard, what you got for me?
Hello, Kathy.
Hello,
You're doing
Richard.
a great job today.
Thank you, sir.
And,
I appreciate that.
And liking to hear it. And actually, what kind of got me on this, because I've never called in before, is while you were interviewing Dr. Coates, it occurred to me that she's Heritage Foundation, and she always kind of stays in her lane when she's on the show, which is great. I love her. I'm just curious if she would ever entertain a question as to what the other stuff that's going on at Heritage, what's going on there, if she would even have a comment on that.
Yeah, I really wish you could have gotten through. I would have absolutely allowed you to ask her that question. Because I think it's important, right? Because we don't have a lot of institutions on our side of the political aisle. The Democrat Party, the left, they have the media, big media. They have big universities. They have all of these federal judges. I mean, like, they have a lot of people in their back pocket. We saw that when they weaponized our federal government against Donald Trump and his supporters. So they have a lot of institutions that they get to go to that pushes out their narrative. And on our side of the political aisle, we have a bunch of podcasters mainly. And
and that's the thing. I wasn't really trying to intend to raise any controversy with her. If she was willing to comment, that's great. But otherwise, I actually think she should just stay in her lane and keep giving us what she gives us.
And I think that that's what most people do, right? But at the same time, I understand, because for me as well, right? I don't really talk about Heritage Foundation and what's going on with Kevin Roberts and all of that because, trying to keep up with things that matter is like trying to drink water from a fire hydrant. It's already difficult.
I hear you.
Right. And so
that's for sure.
And so, I try to stay in my lane. However, at the same time, I understand the heart behind your question, for me anyway, is that we don't have a lot of institutions on our side. And so when one of our institutions, especially someone like Heritage Foundation, is having all of this chaos, it just creates noise.
Yes, and it's also just an opportunity for them to pounce. And yeah, I see that too, for sure.
And and really, even with this whole thing with Kevin Roberts, not saying good, bad, or indifferent, but it's almost like we create our own issues. Like we kneecap ourselves when it's completely unnecessary.
Exactly why it's so frustrating. I agree.
Yeah, absolutely. Richard, thank you so much for calling in, sir.
You're welcome.
Richard is always on YouTube, and so for him to get off YouTube and actually call in, Richard, that's a high honor. Thank you so much. I see I have Alex from Swarthmore on the line. Hey, Alex.
You have a very good rapport with the audience.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I've never heard you before, but I was very impressed with the way you were your energy and the way you're handling this topic. Since Trump is in Davos, then I think my comment is very timely, and that is, it's about time the Europeans woke up and smelled the coffee, because without the USA, there is no NATO.
How about that?
The only reason NATO has muscle is because of us. If we weren't in the equation, they'd just be a band of gypsies. And that's the truth. They have no power. They have no authority. They don't. It's always America coming to their rescue, to their aid. We've done now. Now that we need them to back us on Greenland, where are they?
Nope, nowhere to be found. Did you hear what? Did you hear what Donald Trump said? That he said, I'm not even sure if we needed NATO, if they would even be there for us.
Well, they're not there for us now. We've always had them. We've always had their back. Now that we need them, where are they? And secondly, another thing is there. I'm not going to say the station. There's a station in Philadelphia that calls itself Progressive, and one of the attorneys who has a show was insisting that his listeners pull weapons on ice.
Wow.
Do you know how dangerous that is to give the advice to your audience where you're to pull weapons on ice? You're going to get yourself killed.
Wow.
But there's a guy who's actually he has a weekend show, and he was actually saying, you have the right to pull your weapons on ice. Let me tell you something. Any fool, and I remember this, Mr. T used to say, I pity the fool. I pity the fool who pulls a weapon on ice because you know what?
Renee Good should have been a poster child for such horrible decision-making skills, right? Of what happens when you, press on the gas in any scenario, right? Certainly pulling a weapon. I can't, I haven't talked to Greg Stocker, the general manager here at WPHT about this, but I feel confident that if I gave such advice, I would be yanked off the air so fast.
Well,
I wouldn't have time to even think about it. I mean, I can't imagine.
That station has been given out very bad, what they call progressive advice. And that was the most, during the Israeli conflict with Palestine, they were against Israel. Of course, naturally they were, and that didn't surprise me. But to actually give the advice on the air to their, if you're to pull your weapons, do you realize how that is beyond insane?
But you know what? Even that's disturbing. Okay, a couple of things is that one, these people hate. I try to tell black folks this all the time, right? When I would go into Black Lives Matter rallies, they would never invite me. I would just invite myself, walk up on their stage, take their mic, and be like, what are you going to do about it? I'm black. And I would say to a room full of black people, these Democrats hate you. They hate you. And the sooner you Republicans aren't that much better, but these Democrats literally hate their voters, their constituents, and they will do anything to keep the momentum of chaos moving forward, that they would offer such stupid advice to put yourself between a rapist and an ICE agent with a gun. I can't think of worse advice than that.
It's very scary. Now, I'm going to say something. I'm throwing my support behind you. I want to see you as the new afternoon host.
Oh, look at you. Thank you, Alex. Okay.
I am saying right now, and I know that I know the Suits are listening. The Suits are listening. So, hey, Suits, put her on the air. Put her on the air every day, every weekday from 3 to 6 before Rich Zioli, and what a lineup, right?
Well, I am so grateful for that. I do not, just by the way, for so everyone knows, full disclosure, I do not know you, Alex. Do I know you?
I've never heard you before.
Oh, look at that.
This is the first. I was magnetically drawn to the radio because of your energy and the fact that you just have something going on there. I mean, you basically have a pretty good grasp on the issues.
Well, I really appreciate that. And I am so sure that this is a very weighty decision that the station managers, the Suits as you've called them, will have to make. And I'm good either way. I'm good. I have to tell you that I really would. I mean, this is the kind of show people want, because the type of interaction I'm hearing today is on a level in class by itself. Wow.
And that's important because you do connect with your listeners. There's no question you connect with your in a way that it's unusual to hear. So keep up the good work and God bless. You hear?
Yay. Thank you, Alex. How adorable. All of you guys calling in with such, let me tell you guys something. The world is a brutal place. Most of us as adults realize that, right? And you try to keep that brutality away from your children as long as possible. You try to give them little peeks into reality, because you don't want to send your children out there like Little Red Riding Hood and being eaten up by the big bad wolves that's out there, right? But for most of us, we realize that, I mean, the world is not kind all the time. It's a pretty brutal place out there. I mean, life is tough. Get a helmet because life is not joking around, boy. You go out there, making some bad decisions, it will eat you up. And so I say that to say, I do not take it for granted. When I was out there on the campaign trail talking to so many people, I had the time of my life. I mean, we have some of the best people in the Republican Party. I met a few nuts out there, and I met a lot of rhinos out there, and people who are just out there for the money, grifters, so to speak. But overwhelmingly, I met far more amazing people that gave me so much hope. That our country is not lost. We have great people. And so I don't take it for granted to be in a space where people would take the time to call in and just offer words of encouragement, because, y'all know, right? The world isn't handing out a lot of encouragement out there, especially as, if I can just throw in color for a moment, but being a Black conservative who's outspoken, I mean, you're just kind of out there all by yourself. You don't have any base really that comes around and try to absorb some of the blows that come at you. And so I say all of that a long-winded way of saying I do not take it for granted when people say something positive, or people call in and give words of encouragement, or even when I'm just out at the grocery store, people running up saying, "Kathy, I appreciate you guys." I mean, and I say that because I hope some of that rub off to you with you guys, no matter how dark times may be. And I know when you looking around, and if you're spending a lot of time on Twitter and some of these other social media platforms, you can become bombarded with the images and the videos, and you think that is life and that's all that there is. And sometimes that can be very dark and very lonely. I am here to tell you that there are a lot of really great people. I've met so many of you, and I'm just happy. Can we play that song? Gonna have a good day going out. I don't know if it's up. Okay, gotta give him a second, because I'm kind of like just throwing everybody off a little bit. But you are listening to Kathy Barnette. This is WPHT, the #1 talk radio station. Even that is so huge, right? To be on the #1 talk radio station in the top 10 market in the nation is no small thing, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful. What an amazing life that we get to, just being an American is a blessing all by itself. All you have to do is travel outside of this country to realize how blessed we really are. And then to be doing things and working in line with your purpose, and my husband loves me, my children are happy and healthy and thriving and productive little human beings. That's a good day. And I'm having a great day. I'm so glad you guys are wherever you are, in your car, driving home, cooking your meal for your family. We're all here together. Thank you guys so much. The call-in number is 855-839-1210.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55, but unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Dawn Stensland here. Oh, the excitement is building. Portugal and Spain this spring. You know, I wouldn't go anywhere across the pond unless Conservative Tours was running the show for you. A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. And after the last 2 adventures in Europe with you, I wouldn't recommend you to anybody else. Fine dining with great wines, seaside villages that take your breath away. They are so stunning to behold. 5738, yes, that includes your nonstop flight from Philadelphia to Lisbon. The picturesque Douro River Valley, 4-star hotel properties, and dining events to rival the best in Europe for 10 days. Portugal is Europe's best-kept secret. I want to take you there before the secret's out. Private Portuguese tour escort, step over the border into Galicia in Old World Spain, fly home from Porto. 888-733-9494, conservativetours.com. Tell Dawn sent you.
Newsmax, you like Newsmax. I like it too. Newsmax has been terrific.
President Trump is right. Millions like you are tuning into Newsmax. You're watching Newsmax on cable. You're going to our streaming channel, Newsmax 2. And you're downloading our free Newsmax app on your smartphones and TVs. Reuters Institute says we're now one of the top news brands in the nation. Every night, watch great shows with Rob Schmidt, Carl Higbie, Rob Finnerty, and more as they expose the big media lies, the Washington swamp, and they're never afraid to talk about faith, freedom, and the values that made us great. Find out why Newsmax is the fastest-growing news channel in America. Make the switch today and join our news revolution. Get Newsmax on cable, on streaming, and download the free app today. It takes just seconds to start. Let President Trump know you stand with Newsmax. It's for real news, for real people. Make the switch today.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait. And don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Start the new year off on a healthier note by taking active liver supplements from New Nordic every day. Available online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com or at your local CVS, ShopRite, Meijer Grocery, or Wegmans.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. We're proud to offer high-quality, rechargeable hearing aids starting at just $98. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and hear the difference today by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
What's up, everybody? I'm Nick Costos, and watching sports isn't a hobby, it's a lifestyle. And my show is not a job, it's a passion. From the NFL playoffs to the NBA and everything in between, celebrate sports with me every day on You Better You Bet from 9 a.m. to noon Eastern. Download the Odyssey app now and listen to Westwood One Sports from anywhere. It's You Better You Bet with me, Nick Costos, live and interactive Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern, presented by BetMGM.
Broadcasting live from the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
They don't love you like I love you, Pennsylvania. They don't love you like I love you, Pennsylvania. Don't let them tell you anything different. You're listening to Kathy Barnette. I am here at WPHT 1210, the number one talk radio station in Philadelphia. You know, I want to say, I keep pausing because I want to say sitting in for someone, but I'm not sitting in for anyone right now. No, this is Kathy Barnette sitting in for myself. How about that? Here's the number to call in, 855-839-1210, 855-839-1210. Love it. Okay, do we have that Tina Peters video available? Okay, so we're going to play. If you can go to YouTube, I want to plug our YouTube channel out here. If you can go to 1210 WPHT, you can actually see the video. There's no there's no sound, but you can see the video of what I'm about to describe. So when you guys post it up there. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I can go ahead. Okay. So in this video, so it came out, Tina Peters was assaulted. You guys may remember Tina. Tina Peters is the Gold Star mom and former Mesa County clerk who was sentenced to 9 years in prison for tampering with election equipment. She was, according to her team, so this news release that I got that came to my email, it was sent according to her team that she was assaulted on this past Monday night, definitely involved in some kind of altercation. So they're saying she was assaulted, but some of the media outlets are saying that they did not see the young woman assault Tina, but what they saw was Tina assault this young lady. And in the video, you do see just that. According to the press release issued, according to Tina Peters' team, an inmate attacked her and she defended herself. For that, she was sent to solitary confinement and was told that she was being charged with felony assault. So that means they will be adding to that 9-year sentence. Now, according to outside sources, media sources that are reporting on this, what you see in this video, the incident shows Peters appearing to have her hands on the neck of another inmate, pushing her across the room. According to this report, Tina was inside a maintenance closet filling up a water unit. This is according to Tina Peters' team, when an inmate approached her in the closet and began striking her in anger. In the video that you're watching, if you're on YouTube right now, you see Tina Peters go into this closet and then you see another younger lady walk into the closet. It doesn't seem like she's being aggressive, but you do see this other younger lady walk into the closet. And then almost immediately you see Tina Peters pushing the woman out of the way, or pushing the woman out of, so you see the woman pushing this cart that's blocking Tina Peters inside the maintenance closet. You see this younger woman pushing the cart out of the door, and Tina immediately comes out and starts striking the woman. You don't see the woman striking her, but according to Tina Peters' team, she was attacked. You don't see that in the video. All you do see is Tina being is coming out and assaulting this young lady. So you don't know. I'm sure they would do an investigation on that. But because of that, Tina, according to her team, she was handcuffed, shackled, and brought to solitary confinement. The report says she was, from outside sources, says she was not placed in solitary confinement. She was just placed into a separate room, not her own cell, but into a separate room. Tomato, who knows? But I'm confused. Don't be confused. I'm listening to Susie Loves out here on YouTube. I'm trying to walk through this video. Hopefully it's not so confusing. But so you have Tina Peters' team, who is telling a story, and then you have outside sources telling their version of the story. What is clear in the video is Tina Peters is coming out of the closet, and you see Tina Peters actually throwing blows and putting her hand around another inmate's neck. So that's that. I thought this was interesting because I don't know why I did not follow Tina Peters a whole lot before she was incarcerated. I probably, she kind of popped up on my radar after she was sentenced, but just a little bit before she actually went in to serve that time. The Republican Party, of course, she was a superstar with certain groups within the Republican Party. And she was doing all of the speaking circuits with her beautiful gray hair, white hair, very, very attractive lady, older lady. I think she's like 70 years old. And even at 70 years old, she was really tossing that younger lady around. So I thought that was kind of impressive. But nonetheless, she's 70 years old. She's been sentenced to 9 years in prison for tampering with election equipment. And I think what they mean by tampering with election equipment is that after the election in 2020, when it was stolen from Donald Trump, and there were a lot of accusations going on out there about how the election was stolen, she, being the Mesa County clerk, she had access to the machines, and I believe she gave access to the machine, how the machine was tabulating the votes. I believe she gave access of that to an outside source, and for that, she has been sentenced and is serving a 9-year prison sentence. And because it was a state level crime and the state found her guilty, apparently Donald Trump does not have the ability from a federal government perspective to come in and to commute her sentence or whatever it is that they do and get her out of prison. So she is just there. And I don't know. I just find, and every now and again, you know how you're just walking, minding your own business, and someone will pop into your mind and you just kind of think about that person. And so anyway, that is my situation with Tina Peters. I think about her. She pops in my mind quite a bit. And so for this story to come out, and then to watch this video and to see her in there with inmates fighting, I don't know. It's just something so sad and degrading about all of that. I don't know. What do you guys think? Give me a call, 855-839-1210, 855-839-1210. But yeah, so I thought about that. How much time do I have, guys? I want to get into these 81 Pennsylvania House of or the 81 House Republicans who joined in with all of the Democrats to vote for the funding of the National Endowment for Democracy. I don't know how much time do we have. You guys just let me know. But, or if we have to wrap it up. But, again, we have to fund our government. But it's real interesting when, Republicans have only confirmed about 15% of Donald Trump's federal prosecutors. So out of the 92 U.S. attorneys, only 14 of them have been confirmed. You have Democrats burning down cities. You have Don Lemon and his merry band of black folks. I mean, there were some white people in there too, but again, Don Lemon, walking up into churches like the KKK walked up into churches down in the deep South where I'm from. There's so many stories you grow up hearing about how KKK members would just bust up into black churches, taking sons, taking fathers, taking uncles, lynching them right there on church ground because people weren't thinking how they thought they should be thinking. People weren't doing what KKK members thought they should be doing, or maybe they wanted votes, or maybe Black people wanted to register other Black people for voting, and maybe KKK members did not want Black people to go around educating other Black people on their rights as American citizens, and they would just bust into churches, into homes, but specifically into churches, and grab, the fathers, the brothers, the uncles, the cousins, and lynch them or beat them to an inch of their life. And I don't know, but that I was reminded of that when I saw Don Lemon. I've never lived through that as an American, where people just bust in on you when you're in church talking to your God, trying to get your own life right, trying to listen to the word, trying to find hope and purpose and meaning in your life. And then you just have this band of miscreants just walk right in and then just take over, commandeer up in your face, cameras in your face, calling you all kind of names. You see little boy sitting in his father's lap, shaking, shivering out of fear. You see people just staring straight and stiff, like frightened. What is this? Is this Egypt? Is this Coptic Christians? Like, who does this? How is this allowed? Can you imagine if one of us, well, I'm Black, I may get a little bit of a pass. I doubt it. But can you imagine if any of you white people out there with your MAGA cap bust into a mosque and talk about, this isn't American, get out of here, or we don't agree with you. You have to say what we want you to say. You have to do what we want you to do. Like, that's the litmus test. The litmus test on if you are morally correct is, what if someone did it to you in your place of worship or in your protected place, in your home? Would you be okay with that? And if you are not okay with that, if you are not okay with someone wearing a MAGA hat just walking into a mosque, then you probably shouldn't be okay with a bunch of random heathens walking up into a church setting with their phones out, not sitting down, not listening, not being respectful, not asking questions to engage in a dialogue, but coming in to intimidate and disrupt you. It's probably not okay. If it's not okay for the goose, it's not okay for the gander. Isn't that how that goes? Yeah. So anyway, I digress just a little bit, but the point is, we got a lot of stuff going on out here that the Democrats are inflicting upon the rest of the nation. And then to see House Republicans and then our own Senator Dave McCormick voting with Democrats for funding, removing a lot of the leverage, because there's another bill, funding battle that is going to take place in just a couple of weeks, next week, January 31st, trying to look at my notes. January 30th is when we're going to have another budget fight, kind of like what we did when we shut down the government for so many weeks last year. Well, that's coming up again at the end of January. I believe it's January 30th. And so to see Republicans, and they're running around on television talking about, oh, look at how we're working together. But you're working together to work against the American people, specifically the 81 House Republicans who voted with Democrats to fund the National Endowment for Democracy at the beginning of Trump's administration. the NED, the National Endowment for Democracy, is one of those USAID NGOs that Doge and Elon Musk and others put a big bright spotlight on, of how this specific organization undermines democracy in America. There's so many videos. I was actually going to get I don't know if I sent to the producer this video that I saw of one of the leaders within board members of National Endowment of Democracy, talking about creating reimagining democracy in America, reimagining it, getting rid of the old and bringing in the new and reimagining. And of course, they will reimagine it in their own image. Not in the image of we the people, but in their own image. You're listening to Kathy Barnette. The number to call in is 855-839-1210. See you on the other side.
With so much uncertainty in the world today, you may find yourself wondering, is now even the right time to retire?
So many people are waiting, and those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
Fortunately, Jim Cipriotti has been helping get people to, through, and beyond retirement for over 25 years. And each week, he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti, Saturday mornings at 9 and Sunday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 1039 FM.
Dangerous Arctic air and the threat of significant snow is headed to the Philadelphia region. The 10-year-old who went missing from his Southwest Philadelphia school is found safe. The Philadelphia restaurant scene is cooking. 15 restaurants in the city have made it to the semifinals for the 2026 James Beard Awards.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Download to see if you qualify for Albert Instant Advance. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription is required for Instant Advance. Please see the Albert app or albert.com for subscription pricing. Subscriptions can be canceled at any time.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? You can get up to a $1,000 advance fast to pay for car repairs, bills, rent, groceries, whatever you need. Plus, Albert can help you find ways to save and give you a custom budget to actually grow your money.
Albert can get me up to $1,000?
Exactly. But they do more than get you up to $1,000. Albert is your financial assistant, helping you budget, save, and spotting you money in a pinch.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code SAVE to get up to $1,000 for your bills, rent, groceries, and more. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code SAVE to get up to $1,000. Use code SAVE to get up to $1,000.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. All your roles, fill them sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free, and you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Announcing that gold has surpassed $4,600 an ounce last week, and silver is at an all-time high as well. If you need cash to help pay those holiday bills, then you must go to the Estates Roadshow. Gold and silver, old rings, chains, and even broken jewelry. Don't wait. Cash in while gold and silver are hot. 4 locations this week: Chestnut Hill, Media, St. David's, and Doylestown. Bring your gold, silver, coins, diamonds, and watches, even broken pieces, and get cash on the spot. The prices of gold and silver are at an all-time high. So there's never been a better time to sell. No appointments, no fees, no pressure, just friendly professional buyers with over 35 years in the business. Go to the Estates Roadshow, Monday through Friday at the Chestnut Hill Hotel, in Media at the Hampton Inn, St. David's at the Radnor Hotel, and Monday through Thursday at the Doylestown Inn. Get some cash in your hands today to help pay those holiday bills at the Estates Roadshow. For more info, visit estatesroadshow.com.
From North Wales to Willingboro, we know your favorite stations, Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
That's right. Thank you guys so much for listening. I could just listen to this music. I know. We're going to do something about this lighting in here, too. So, yeah, I'm going to have to put a big light right here in front of me. So, listen, guys, I wanted to tell you what my article was picked up. I'm showing it to the audience on YouTube right now. Yeah, you guys really should listen to YouTube if you could do it. I wrote an article called Fraud, Failure, and the Cost of Not Demanding Assimilation. It was picked up by Epic Times and not only put on their digital platform, but also in the paper. It just seems like something so much more official when it's in the paper. And you can, like, I don't know, I love newspapers. I love taking it, folding it, holding it. And so anyway, I just wanted to say that. Go out there to Epic Times, and you can put in my name, Kathy Barnette, and you can see my article out there. Read it. Support me. Also, if you are listening, if you're already out here on YouTube, guys, all of you who are on YouTube, just sidebar for a second, open up a new tab and go back into YouTube and put my name in, Kathy Barnette, Kathy 4 Truth, Kathy number 4 Truth, and hit that subscribe button, followed by the notification button. I'm doing all kinds of things out there so that I can, cause we gotta have conversations. It's just so much to digest. And I mean, I love geopolitics. I love, it's something that's, I don't know if I love it, but it's very natural for me to create a spreadsheet and to put in all 195 nations, their names, their president's name, what their trade balance is, what the tariff rate is. It's something very calming about that to me. To know, because now I know what's going on. I just feel like, okay, I can make a better decision for my family, and I can go out to the American people and I can talk intelligently. The last thing, we don't need any more podcasters for the sake of podcasting. We don't need any more podcasters for the sake of just clickbaiting and rage baiting people, right? You need to be informed. And if you want that, please go to Kathy number 4 Truth, Kathy number 4 Truth on YouTube and hit that subscribe button. I would love it. It will actually help me and encourage me. So I will greatly appreciate it. Now, of course, I'm not perfect. I get angry. I'm so angry at what we are seeing happening to our country. But again, you see someone like Donald Trump standing up, or Marco Rubio, even Pete Hegseth is just doing such a great job of just exuding confidence and resolve. Right? We're not fickle. We're not being tossed by every wave back and forth, but we understand who we are to the best of our ability, and we're moving forward. No one has, I say this all the time, no one has absolute truth. No one knows absolute truth perfectly. No one. But I believe absolute truth exists. I believe truth is real, that it exists. And I believe it is up to me and up to you to do the very best we can to find truth, to seek it out. And then whatever little portion of truth we think we know, I believe it is our right, our our calling, our purpose to put a stake in the ground on that little bit of truth until better truth comes along. And then we should, you shouldn't die on a lie when better truth has made itself available to you. You should swallow hard, get over whatever it is you need to get over that will cause you to stay stuck in a place that you know is not true. Pick that stake up and chase after the better truth. I believe that is our calling. And then I believe part of my purpose is to turn and start talking to people about the little truth I think I've discovered. Not that it's perfect, not that it's absolute, not that it's even right, but I've done the best I could to figure out what is right, what is wrong, what is up, what is down, what's a boy, what's a girl, and now I'm going to put my stake in the ground, hold this position, and be loud about it. Now, let me get back. I have like 5 minutes. I want to get back to these doggone Republicans because I want to talk about, you have to be an equal opportunity offender. That's the only way you survive in this life, is by being willing to be an equal opportunity offender. If you're doing something stupid, you should get a spotlight put on you. And I believe that this is so erroneous, right? So you have, for example, in the Senate, Senator Dave McCormick voted for this mini bus, is what they call it, $176.4 billion. And Republicans like Senator Dave McCormick joined in with Democrats to create a veto-proof minibus that Donald Trump is set to sign into law. And out of this $164 billion that Republicans like Dave McCormick in the Senate joined in with Democrats to pass, $6.2 billion of it is going to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, which monitors Earth environment and climate data, and $224 million of it is going to climate change research. And it just goes on and on and on in that particular way. And Republicans, what they've done is that they've given Democrats these funds, $176.4 billion, are now locked in for parts of the federal apparatus that most of us, like you and I, believe will stay too powerful, like the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration and their climate research. It will stay too powerful. It skirts accountability. We don't get to bust it open and look inside and see what's good, what's bad, what needs to be curtailed. But now it locks in funding for parts of this federal apparatus. And it does nothing for the real knife fight that is about to happen next week on January 30th. In fact, we've given away leverage. So Democrats get what they want. We haven't gotten anything yet because come next week on January 30th, the deadline for the new budget, we have to start talking about Homeland Security. We have to fund that. We have to talk about the funding of ICE and then the rest of the Trump administration. And again, Donald Trump has only confirmed, the Republicans have only confirmed 15% of Trump's federal prosecutors. They won't vote on other aspects of the bill, the Democrat Party. The Democrats are burning down cities right now. And what do we give them for all of their chaos and disturbance? We give them in advance some of our leverage that we would use to hold over their head. If you want the climate research and all of this stuff to be funded, then you need to give us something, which would be, for example, confirm more of Donald Trump's federal prosecutors. But people like Dave McCormick in the Senate, who voted with the Democrat Party for this veto-proof bill, taking any kind of negotiation out of Donald Trump's hands because now he's forced to sign this bill. And what do we get out of it? I mean, maybe there's some, 30,000 foot view on this that I don't get, and I will acquiesce. I don't know everything. Like I said, I don't know truth perfectly, but I believe truth exists. This seems dumb to me. This does not seem advantageous to us getting what could we sent Republicans into office in 2024 under the premise that they were going to cut spending. Well, we just gave a lot of spending. And then we have in the House, we have the only Pennsylvania House Republican who did not vote for this is Scott Perry. All the other Republicans, Brian Fitzpatrick, Mike Kelly, Ryan McKenzie, Dan Muser, Laura Smucker, Rob Bresnahan, voted with Democrats to fund National Endowment for Democracy. It just makes no sense at all. Okay, guy. Oh, I think I have one more minute. Glenn Thompson and Guy, whatever his name is, they didn't vote at all. They didn't have the courage at all to vote. They was like, oh, no vote. I'm going to just sit here, right? So that's no better. Like, pick a lane and jump in it so that I know who you are as a voter and can make decisions wisely. All of these people's seats are up for re-election this year, by the way. Anyway, you've been listening to Kathy Barnette. Blessings. I will be back with you tomorrow. Peace.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Are you tired of feeling worn out halfway through your workout or exhausted before the day even begins? If staying active matters to you, fuel your body with Rescue Orosine. Most people don't realize your body runs on ATP, the natural energy that powers every muscle, every heartbeat, every step. But as we age, ATP production slows down, taking stamina and endurance with it. That's where Rescue Orosine comes in. This cutting-edge formula with research-backed ingredients supports ATP production at the cellular level.